Alright, Assalamualaikum and good morning to all of you. So the School of Biology organizes seminars and workshops consistently for students to gain information and to be effectively associated with school syllabus. So welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for being here today. For your information, last semester we have a workshop for FSG 661 or 671 entitled Bengkel Kecemerlangan, and it was held which has it was held last semester, okay, and has greatly helped the student in achieving an excellent output on their final year project and in presenting their work in International Virtual Symposium, IVIS, which you guys gonna experience it on July this year, inshallah. So through this workshop, students will be able to identify their vulnerable places that include improvements as well as changes needed in your work. So in addition, students will also be trained on how to improve your research skill, inshallah, today. Because we have two panels, Madam Siti, Nursyazwani Maadon, and also Dr. Amirul Adli. The agenda of seminar will include writing tips on mode 1 and mode 3 and also on reference management. So I ensure the workshop will be profitable and the next few hours will be enjoyable and fruitful for every one of you. So here, without further ado, I would like to invite our first panel for today. I'm sure most of you know her already. She's been with UiTM for quite some time. And for those who confused or this is your first, meeting with her, she teach microbiology, food microbe, systematic bacteriology. Alright. And then now I welcome our first panel to start her presentation. Welcome, Madam Siti Nursyazwani.
All right, thank you, Dr. Izzati. Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all of you, especially to our coordinator of FYP2, Dr. Izzati, and also Dr. Adil. Ya. And then, so nanti saya present. Okay, so boleh nampak ya semua saya punya slide, everyone?
Boleh, Madam.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so basically today I'm going to share with all of you about the lab-based report writing. So basically there are three types of report writing that you should do. Yang pertama adalah lab-based, yang kedua adalah for literature review writing, and the last one for the case study report writing. So today I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to share several tips how to write report writing, especially in a lab-based report. All right. Okay, this actually our research report guidelines. There are several important topic. Okay, so the first one is project title. You must have abstract. Chapter 1, okay, introduction. So I'm sure you're very aware about this one. Introduction, literature review, methodology, chapter 4, result and discussion, and then chapter 5, conclusion and also recommendation, and the last one is reference. Okay, so this one is actually overview, sama macam tadi, overview, abstract, introduction, method, result and discussion, reference. So abstract, I give you a very brief. What is abstract? Okay, so abstract is actually your summary ataupun synopsis of your research study. Okay, introduction, you punya review of prior research, current research, you punya hypothesis, and also must include your significance of study, and then method, include the materials and also procedure, results. You must include your data in terms of table, figures, and also you must have statistical analysis. Okay, so for discussion, you need to explain your findings and also suggestion, and then your evaluation of study. Okay, and the last one, reference. So you must list all of your reference that you quote before, I mean at your discussion part, LR part, and also intro and also method. Okay, so now we go for the first main topic, which is project or report title. So in this topic, okay, report title should be short and precise, yet be an adequate description of your work. Maksudnya, you punya title tu mestilah pendek dan jitu. Okay, maksudnya kena tak perlu melirik-lirik dan panjang-panjang. However, when desirable, a longer, more definitive, a little may also be given. It should not be more than 3 lines. Okay, kalau lah misal kata panjang topik awak tu, memang nak letak juga tajuk you tu, so tak boleh lebih daripada 3 lines, and biasanya within dalam 10 to 20 words. And basically dalam tajuk tu mesti ada nama species name that yang you buat research tu lah, species name ataupun nama you punya plant ke. Okay, so in general, the title should contain a keywords. Okay, keywords what you are going to do dalam you punya research project tu nanti. Okay, so next is abstract. Okay, abstract ni apa? What is abstract actually? So, abstract ni actually you need to do in the 2 version, English version and also the Malay version. Okay, and abstract is actually the summary or summarization or synopsis of your entire research report. Okay, and this abstract must be include introduction, you punya problem statement ataupun your justification, significance of your study, objective, materials and method, and also your findings. Okay, so you need to concise, you need to summarize all in one paragraph. Okay, so the word abstract ataupun abstract dalam bahasa Melayu ni, you need to letak tengah-tengah abstract tu, and then mesti dalam 1 paragraph sahaja. Kebiasaannya tidak lebih daripada 300 words. Okay, so ini adalah contoh. Okay, contoh. So yang the coloured green one tu adalah dia explain about the introduction. Okay, so the problem statement yang the blue one. Okay, the objective, kalau macam you tengok kat situ, the main idea. So dia cakap the main idea, so itu adalah dia punya objective. Extracting dyes from natural sources is to avoid the environmental pollution and also avoid toxic allergic reaction associated with the synthetic dyes. And then the green one is actually the significance of study. And the yellow one, yang coloured yellow ni adalah dia punya methodology. Okay, apa yang dibuat? You need to masukkan you punya materials and method sikit lah, tak perlu panjang explain. Okay, and the last one is finding. Finding kalau kat sini dia just macam cakap this person just cakap the purified sample was analysed further by GCMS and compound present and in the field traits were identified. So maksudnya kalau boleh better letaklah compound apa. Okay, tu finding tu lagi okay lah, and must have keywords dekat dalam abstract ni. Okay, now we move on to the introduction. Tadi kita dah kata the title, kita dah kata dengan abstract. So now introductions. So the main intention here adalah untuk get the reader's interest. Maksudnya kita nak catch the pembaca punya interest. So the introduction often contains a general statement. Okay, general statement about the need for the research study. It is set stage to the proceed and elaborate on the subject. And kebiasaannya introduction ni dia akan follow this inverted pyramid approach. So daripada general and then dia pergi kepada specific to your research project. Okay, so in introduction, dalam introduction ni yang pertama perlu ada background of study. So background of study is a part of any research where in the particular topic is placed. And it might be contain the general description, okay, mesti ada general descriptions, and may include the broader description of the topic. So the broader description maksudnya the general information, okay. So other includes a brief review of the topic to discuss. And then selepas tu you need to add problem statement. Problem statement is actually a clear description of the issue, and it includes a vision, issue statement, and also the method used to solve the problem. And you also can use 5W here. 5W is actually who, where, when, what, why, and also another one is how. Okay, so you boleh guna 5 W's and 1 H ni sebagai to tanya apa problem statement dalam you punya project ni. Okay, to spark the discussion about the problem. And a problem statement expresses the words that will be used to keep the effort focused, and it also should represent a solvable problem. Alright, so next, dalam introduction ni juga perlu ada justification, and this justification biasanya useful from very beginning of the formulating of your work to write this section, and also to focus reasoning as you build the rest of you punya proposal. And the last one, perlu ada significance of study. Apa pula significance of study ni? Okay, significance of study ni macam ni menjelaskan lagi, explain the purpose of your study, tujuan untuk awak buat projek ni, tujuan ataupun explain you punya objektif lah. Okay, kenapa awak buat ni? So kenapa? So your problem statement can guide you to in identifying the specific contribution of your study. Okay, so emphasize this significance of study also can emphasize the finding of your study and it benefits to what extent the research will enhance existing knowledge. Contohnya, macam mana you nak start the significance of study punya sentence. Okay, contohnya adalah macam ni. This research will be beneficial to community ke, beneficial to the farmers ke. Okay, so perlu ada tu. And the project will be helpful to the siapa-siapa yang give benefit to your yang dapat benefit daripada you punya project. So the study will be significant and devour to so macam tu lah contohnya. Okay. So next is objective. Okay, objective, the study is what researcher ataupun you intend to accomplish in your study. Okay, researcher needs to tell the audience their goal achieved in solving the problem and should be expressed in a measurable words, tak kisahlah sama ada quantitatively ataupun quantitatively, and perlulah reflect kepada result you nanti, expected results, and they may stated as question, which is the research seek to answer ataupun hypothesis to be tested. Okay, so kebiasaannya basically for your level untuk final year project sama ada at least dalam 2 ataupun 3 lah. Okay, 3 tu memang paling banyak. So basically dalam 2 tu cukup ataupun adequate. So it should be started with a high impact result oriented verb. Contohnya to investigate, to recognize, to ascertain, to develop a protocol ataupun to determine the effect of to analyze, to evaluate. So kena ada verb-verb macam tu. Okay, dia tak boleh objektif ni tak boleh start dengan ayat lain. Dia kena to investigate, to apa? To dia kena ada verb yang high impact and result oriented tu tadi. And perlulah measurable words. Remember, tak kisah sama ada kualitatif ataupun kuantitatif. And next kita masuk yang chapter kedua, which is literature review. Di mana this literature review ni includes a fully referred and discussion of previous studies, including findings yang ada, theory and also methods. So previous study tu dia report mengenai apa. So you need to include in your literature review. And you must also include the review of relevant literature, especially most current report. Okay, current report ni maksudnya the past 5 to 10 years at the most. Maksudnya 20 tahun sebelum tu tak current. So paling bagus 5 years ke bawah lah. Okay, 10 tahun tu boleh lagi diterima lah. The rationales of conducting literature review ni adalah rationales of conducting the research, and the uniqueness of research as compared to the previous studies are almost similar titles or fields of study. And literature review ni juga boleh kita dapat daripada previous studies lah, of course previous studies mengenai topik ataupun research awak tu yang berkaitan previous studies. So ada juga boleh kita dapat daripada journal, books, proceedings or any articles, newspapers ke. Okay. And please do not duplicate text in introduction. Maksudnya apa yang awak dah tulis dalam introduction tu janganlah tulis teks tu yang sama. Boleh nak tulis tapi you need to resentence ataupun buat ayat lain tapi yang sama maksud lebih kurang lah. Section with the text written in the literature review. Okay. Next is method lah ataupun methodology, materials and also method. Okay, in this section, you should make a clear to reader a way that you intend to approach the research question, technique and also the logic that you will use to address it. And perlulah clearly written and also described precisely. Okay, it's actually a guide on how the study and also the analysis of the data will be conducted after this. Okay, method ni juga is actually the plan of action and how objective will be achieved. Okay, this section also should provide relevant information on description of overall approach, its relevant, effectiveness and innovativeness. And it is give details on method. Okay, so dalam method tu perlu ada study place, study period, sample size, so mesti detail and precise. So the population and being addressed and how anticipated problem will be managed. The methodology ni mestilah perlu ada references, perlu cite daripada mana awak refer. Nanti what basis that you refer to. So perlu ada that one. So tak boleh sesuka hati you buat method ataupun kalau you nak ubah method boleh. So you just mention kat situ with amendment ke apa semua kan. So perlu ada basis ataupun perlu ada reference. Maksudnya you kena cite lah other journals punya method. And then kalau you nak ubah so boleh with ada amendment ke macam tu. You need to justify kat situ lah. Okay, so yang perlu ada contohlah ni if any so study area, a brief explanation of study area, location, okay, ada kalau boleh ada base base map yang ada details lah dia punya latitude, longitude, okay, general account about the topography and also geography. Okay, untuk data collection pula, this one might include the field of site description. Macam tadilah site lebih kurang tu lah site description, a description of instrument use and also data collected. So maksudnya perlu detail. So macam kalau macam instrument yang awak gunakan tu apa, daripada mana, okay, apa dia punya details instrument yang awak gunakan. And field site description tu di mana, location kat mana. So kena detail and letak dalam method awak. You may need to comment on the site of resource accessibility, time frame and also budget availability. And then you should emphasize in this section specifically what data you will be using in your study. It also detect flaws in the plan before they become a problem in the research. Okay, so data collection ni boleh bermacam-macam lah dari kerana kita guna data yang dah ada, data usage data and also daripada group, daripada interview, observation ni kalau kita buat an eksperimen, kita tengoklah apa yang terjadi pada eksperimen and also daripada survey, tu data collection So, then kita buat data analysis pula. So, data analysis define why you need data analysis dulu. Kenapa awak perlu analysis this data? And then you collect the data from the source. So bila awak dah collect tu, awak kena trace balik mana satu yang necessary, mana satu yang unnecessary data yang awak perlukan dan juga tak perlukan. And then you analyse you punya data. Then lepas data, so you boleh buat dalam you punya discussion. Okay, so data analysis ni, you should be explained in some detail of how you will manipulate data you assemble to get at the information that you will use answer your question, and must be described, research design and the appropriate statistical analysis. Ni penting statistical analysis perlu ada. to be used for the verification of your results. So the common statistical analysis yang digunakan adalah this one basic Excel. Okay, to very basic lah. You choose untuk buat you punya table, untuk you punya graph ke, carta pie ke. So you kena ada standard error, perlu ada standard deviation, mean also. Semua tu perlu ada and boleh dibuat melalui through Excel. Itu memang semua ada. And untuk statistical analysis yang lagi significant, so kita guna SPSS. Boleh juga guna Minitab, SAS, okay, Statistical Analysis System pun boleh juga. So it's very sangat penting kita gunakan this type of particular statistical analysis punya software. And then student must have a very clear view on experimental design. This one pun penting juga. Perlu tahu macam mana experimental design awak tu, sebab nanti awak akan analyse dia punya data. Okay, so experimental design sangat penting, statistical analysis and what software that you use. Okay, next is chapter 4. Okay, dalam chapter 4 ni biasanya kita combine result and discussion, ataupun you boleh separate lah result you describe you punya result, you explain you punya result, and then baru you discussion. Tapi you nak combine result and discussion pun okay, boleh juga. So students should interpret results in your relation to objective identified for your final year project, and the result actual statement of observation. Okay, observation, and must be projected in dalam bentuk tables, graph. Okay, you tak boleh letak dalam bentuk raw data. So people can tak boleh relate. Sebenarnya apa yang you cuba sampaikan. So tak boleh. So you kena simplify kan dalam bentuk table, dalam bentuk graph ataupun carta pie ke. So biasanya most of you memang akan buat tables and also graph lah. Okay, it also include the statistic which represent the findings of research related information possible, interpretation of the data. And you juga boleh include the positive dan juga negative result you. And perlulah ada units lah, perlu ada units. And the result can be written into logical segments by using subheading. And the interpretation of the result boleh include dalam you punya discussion. Okay, you are advised to write the major patterns, relationship, trends, in your observation dan juga generalization of your results, and boleh juga relate ataupun compare to the citation from the previous study. So misal kata you dapat dalam you punya project you dapat compound baru ataupun you dapat detect compound baru. So before this previous research tak ada. So you boleh compare. So this is one is your novelty ataupun you punya new findings. So you boleh compare that one. Okay, ataupun yang before this, researcher before this dia bagi tahu okay sepatutnya dapat positive result tapi you dapat negative result, so you need to discuss you punya result tu nanti. Okay, so ada argument lah kat situ which is very good sebenarnya. Okay, dan macam kat saya cakap, must write a logical arguments and also coherent interpretation of the results. And you also advise to argue ataupun debate and make some comment and also on your funding as with past report, and also give reason to agree ataupun disagree with the previous report. So macam you agree ke tidak, similar ataupun you just okay the finding shows the compound this compound is higher. Okay, so you cakap lah this result is similar to the according to siapa. So you boleh memang you sepatutnya all of you kena compare, buat comparison tu dengan previous study. Evidence or line of reasoning should be included for the supporting each interpretation, and also it also highlight the main finding of your project and also you punya significance and also implication. Okay, ni contoh result perlu ada apa. So common element dalam figure. So macam saya cakap tadi before this, perlulah you project ataupun you you present you punya data dalam bentuk figures, dalam bentuk tables. Okay, so macam yang ini dia betul ada figure number, perlu ada figure number. This one is more to format lah. Okay, figure number, perlu ada figure title, and then label. Okay, and also dia punya legend. So ni perlu apa yang perlu ada lah dalam dia punya graph ataupun table. So macam ni table so table number, table title, okay, perlu ada lah semua ni. This one. Okay, and also ada footnotes. Okay, ini contoh, yang ini contoh table lain juga, which is dia lebih kepada scientific punya table, which is ada 3 lines kat sini So this one lagi better lah. Table you all buat macam ni sebab this one follows the scientific punya papers ataupun scientific punya writing report, dia buat table macam ni. Perlu ada 3 line macam ni, only 3 line. Tak perlu. Okay. Tips to write the result section. Okay, direct to reader. Okay, to direct to the reader to research data and explain the meaning of data. So avoid using the repetitive sentence structure to explain a new set of data. Write and highlight your important finding. Important finding tu maksudnya apa benda yang you nak express ataupun apa yang you nak cakap mengenai higher, lower ataupun you dapat detect this compound. So you highlight that one. Okay, use the same order to as a subheadings of the method section. Okay, ni gunakan yang sama lah. So dia synchronize dengan you punya, contohnya method you determination of alkaloid compound. So you punya result, so alkaloid compound tu detect ke tidak. So ikut subheading tu. So baru nampak organized. Okay, so match the result with the research question from the introduction. Your result should answer your research question. Ni sangat penting Perlu menjawab punya research question tu. Why? Okay, make sure there's no mismatch. No mismatch the table number of the figure number in a text ataupun figure. So kena betul-betul tengok lah. So you nak match kat mana. So you kena bagi tahu, okay ni figure 1.1, tiba-tiba figure jump ke 4 ke kan. Tak boleh macam tu. So no mismatch. Only present data support the significance of your study. You can provide the additional data in tables ataupun figures as supplementary materials. Ni kalau macam yang additional data that you nak masukkan lah. Okay, tapi yang penting highlight your important findings dulu. Okay, so now discussion. Okay, discussion ni this one is actually list of question to guide you when you organize ataupun you nak construct you punya discussion tu macam mana. So first, why experiment did you conduct and what were the results? Okay, so you jot down kat situ, you brainstorm kat situ. So what do the result means? Apa maksud result yang awak dapat tu? Macam mana you nak explain? Macam mana you nak relate dengan previous study? So what were the important of result from your study? Okay, important results. Okay, apa kepentingannya? Maksudnya kalau boleh dapat novelty je. So how did the result answer your question research? Did your result support you punya hypothesis ataupun reject you punya hypothesis? Ni pun penting. So you kena brainstorm So what are the variable factor that might affect you punya result? What were the strength ataupun limitation of your study? And what are the published work support your findings? Okay, yang mana yang support? Mana satu yang you boleh compare? Okay, what are the published work contradict to your finding? Maksudnya you dapat lain daripada orang lain, daripada previous research. And what possible factor might cause your finding different from other findings? And what is significance of your research? Itu penting juga. Okay, apa significance research awak buat ni? So, what are new research question to be explored based on your finding? So this type of question you need to brainstorm when you do ataupun you want to construct your punya discussion tu. Okay, so daripada you kena daripada narrow context tu you kena broadkan. Okay, so di mana at the beginning part answer the research question provided to the finding. At the middle part comparison dengan previous, sama ada contradict ke, similar ke. Okay, and then you kena tahu strength and limitation of your study. Okay, at the end part the conclusion of study and also the significance of study to fill gap. Apa gap yang you kena fill daripada you punya project tu, daripada result you dapat, you nak discuss macam mana you nak fill the gap. Okay, alright, so this one is another way to organize you punya discussion section is by using this type of structure. So comparison of your result with the other publisher ataupun published work. Okay, strength and also limitation of your study, and then what conclusion and also possible implication of your study and future research question based on your finding. So must be remember, a heart of discussion is a section presenting you punya interpretation of your major finding. Okay, tips. Macam mana kita nak write discussion section ni? You kena highlight the significance. Apa yang significant dalam you punya findings tu? You can highlight that one. And mention how the study will fill the gap, the knowledge tu. Macam mana kita nak fill the gap knowledge. Macam kita nak solve the problem kalau ada problem. Okay, indicate the implication of your research. Avoid generalizing and misinterpreting your results and drawing a conclusion that no seperti finding that that you punya results tu. So avoid that one. Okay, so now kita masuk dalam conclusion and also recommendation. So dalam conclusion ni pula, it's actually provide the context in which interpret the results of the study and stressing the significance, implication, limitation of your finding. So this chapter should relate to initially you set out your punya objektif. Apa yang objektif tu? Conclusion tu capai ke tidak objektif yang you buat dalam you punya research project. Okay, this section concludes the entire of study and the significant finding of the project. The student you are advised to direct the future investigation related and give recommendation. Apa yang perlu ditambah baik lagi dalam you punya eksperimen ni. Contohnya you tak dapat ni. Contoh dalam recommendation, it might be kita guna method lain. Contoh tu lah recommendationnya. So student can also suggest the topic to be further researched in order to fill the gaps, okay, or remedial action to solve the problem. This section also concludes the work done and also major finding of the project and give recommendation for the future work. And the number of paragraphs should follow in line in the number of objective. Maksudnya objektif yang pertama, conclusion apa? Objektif kedua, so capai ke tidak conclusion tu? Ataupun capai ke, dapat fill gap tak? Your knowledge yang missing tu. Okay? And the following paragraph will conclude the main finding of the entire study. And the recommendation paragraph should be placed at the end lah. Biasanya recommendation last lah. Okay? And the last one, references. So references ni saya tak touch more details lah sebab dia more kepada endnote ke, you tak kisah you guna Mendeley ke, okay. So saya just briefly beritahu apa perlu yang ada. So all author listed on the publication, perlu ada year publication, jangan tertinggal, the title of the paper, book ke, journal, articles, okay, editor, edition ke berapa kalau books, and also the volume, issues, and also perlu ada complete pages tu daripada page berapa ke page berapa, volume berapa. So mesti ada this one. Okay, so I think I dah cover semua. Okay, so basically apa yang awak buat adalah abstract, introduction, method, result, discussion, and also references. So kalau awak tengok kat sini dia macam bentuk jam pasir tu kan. So daripada sini perlulah broad. Maksudnya broad tu general. So kita become specific. And then bila kita come into discussion, so kita broad balik. Okay? Okay, they start in the broader topic, general background, kat introduction lah, narrows down to the thesis statement, significance of study, you punya objective, and then be specific on the method and also you punya results. And then discussion, kita provide interpretation and get more broader, explain significance, the fields and give recommendation. Okay, so I think that's all. Kita dah cover semua. Thank you for listening. Kalau ada question.
Thank you, Madam Syazwani. So guys, tanya soalan. I'm sure kamu semua sekarang week 5, right? Kamu di peringkat apa? Di peringkat collecting data lah untuk siapa-siapa yang lab base. So macam boleh tak yang lab base ni tak ramai dalam 20. Ni lab base 21 orang. Student saya dia tak buat lab tapi dia kumpul data kat rumah. So basically ada juga yang tak masuk lab tapi kumpul data kat rumah. So I'm sure more than 20 student lah yang terlibat dalam pengumpulan data ni. Ada tak nak tanya soalan? Tahu tak macam mana nak manage data masing-masing? Boleh tanya dekat panel kita. Dia sangat berpengalaman. Cepat. Dah blur kan, dah collect dah data ni, nak buat apa dengan data, macam mana nak susun,
Yes, betul.
macam mana nak decide, nak decide statistical analysis, nanti jangan risau, cycle kedua dengan SPSS. Dengan apa? Madam Zuraida. Tanya-tanya soalan.
Boleh tanya je apa-apa pun. You tak faham ke yang mana you rasa macam okay macam Dr. Izzati kata tadi, okay you dah collect data, dia nak buat apa dengan data ni?
Saya nak tanya,
Ya.
saya pakai Minitab untuk kira like correlation, regression, apa semua tu kan. And then graf-graf tu kena masukkan dalam result ke? Ke just dia punya value R dia je? Value
Okay.
graf-graf dia.
Okay, graf-graf dia tu banyak kan? So banyak. So
Kena masuk.
I think better you kena choose lah. Kena choose yang mana yang lagi related dengan yang R value tu. Dia tak perlu masukkan semua. Semuanya boleh masuk dalam you punya appendix. So kalau macam examiner dia nak tengok, so dia akan flip je lah dekat you punya appendix. Tak perlu.
Boleh lah tapi kat appendix.
Boleh masuk dalam appendix.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Wani nak tambah. Jangan lupa pula Rabiatul, dekat penulisan tu kena buat kurungan lah appendix 1. Betul tak Wani?
Betul.
Okay.
Boleh
So
main
nanti
letak je kat belakang.
boleh refer. Betul.
Okay, faham.
Okay. Lagi ada nak tanya tak? Macam mana nak analyse data you? Tapi memang disarankan memang you all kena buat statistical analysis. So whether kita nak tahu dia significance ke tidak, beza ke tidak. So kalau beza banyak tu, significance ke tidak. So you need to run statistical analysis.
Wani, saya nak kongsi ada satu semester tu Dr. Aisyah Bushah tegur saya. Dia macam share lah. Apa kita tulis how we susun literature review kita punya topik. Begitu juga kita kena discuss mengikut turutan di chapter 4. Jadi pelajar-pelajar boleh dapat bayangan kat situ. Apa 2.1 awak, apa tajuk 2.1, itu juga yang jadi your 4.1. Dia kena penceritaan yang flowing kan?
Ya betul. Dia kena synchronize lah dengan you punya ni. So baru nampak flow kat situ. Betul, saya setuju.
Tu Dr. Aisyah Bushah. Kenal kan semua? Dia ajar plan.
Saya rasa kenal.
Kenal.
Ni ada soalan ni Madam Wani nak tanya kalau gambar result pun sama ya masuk dalam appendix. Macam mana tu?
Okay, kalau gambar result. So macam saya cakap tadi, what is your main finding? Finding you nak cari apa? Main finding you. Kalau gambar tu result, okay, contohnya result you nak tengok TLC punya spot. So itu kena masukkan lah sebab itu you punya main finding. You nak tahu komponen tu dia duduk kat RF mana, betul tak? So itu kena letak gambar tu. Kalau macam gambar method ke semua tu boleh jugalah letak dalam you punya method lah. Tapi kalau results, so what is your main finding tu? Apa you nak tengok apa? Itu yang you kena letak. Kalau macam you nak tengok growth of plant, okay, daripada week 4, contohnya week 4 sampai week 10. So you nak tengok dia punya perbezaan dia. That one kena letak lah sebab that one you punya result and you punya observation.
Madam.
Ya.
Saya yang tanya tadi, kalau macam saya buat test triplicate, so 3 kali saya kena masukkan lah gambarnya.
Triplicate tu dia ada treatment lagi kan? Dia ada treatment 1, treatment 2, treatment 3, every each treatment tu ada triplicate, betul tak?
Ya betul.
So you choose one je lah. So nanti dekat dalam gambar tu you kena letak lah, okay, treatment 1 you just choose one. Mana satu yang daripada replicate you tu? Satu. Treatment 1 macam ni gambar dia. Treatment 2 macam ni. Treatment 3. You tak perlu letak lah semua.
Okay, thank you madam.
Boleh faham, okay? Thank you. Ada lagi tak nak tanya?
Madam.
Yes, Nursyazwani.
Saya nak tanya yang macam Nurul Syafiqah tanya tadi tu, kan kalau kita dah pilih yang ada antara 3 replicate tu, pilih yang the best ataupun boleh main pilih je? Ke macam mana?
Okay, so you buat three replicate tu kan? Okay, I think better you choose the best one. Okay, choose the best one untuk awak shows the gambar kan? Gambar tu awak nak letak dalam you punya result kan? Ha.
Okay. Alright. Thank you,
So
madam.
better sebenarnya buat bukan 3 replicate lah. Better buat dalam 5 sepatutnya. Tapi at least 3 perlu ada replicate tu. 5 better. Banyak lagi bagus.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay.
Apa saya nak tambah, kalau contohnya dalam replicate tu ada yang contoh 4 terbaik, satu ni dia macam buruk kan. Lepas tu kalau pelajar tu dia nak discuss keburukan tu, bolehlah juga masuklah 2, betul tak Madam Wani?
Boleh
Maksudnya you
juga.
can compare apa yang you niat nak cerita
Betul.
dalam tulisan tu, itu yang kamu masuk. Jangan redundant lah macam tadi. Choose one the best, wakil-wakil lah gitu.
It depends sebenarnya apa yang you nak cerita dalam you punya discussion tu. Okay, based on your result and then dalam discussion you nak cerita apa dekat you punya finding tu. You kena, macam saya cakap tadi lah, you kena brainstormkan, list down apa yang you nak cerita daripada you punya findings. Okay?
Jadi kan madam, kira kita brainstorm kita punya finding and then kita kena comparekan dengan jurnal yang kita rujuk juga, macam tu ke?
Yes, betul. Okay, jurnal yang rujuk tu sebelum tu you dapat macam mana result you. Adakah dia contradict ataupun similar finding? So kalau similar, so adalah support. So kalau contradict pun you boleh report juga. Okay, this finding is contradict to previous research yang has been done, apa-apa semua. Boleh juga report, tapi you kena macam justify jugalah kenapa contradict tu. It might be kenapa. Kena ada explanation jugalah. Okay, ada lagi nak tanya? Tak ada kot Dr. Izzati?
Apa ni, boleh tak Madam Wani bagi diorang sikit idea, sebab nanti kan minggu ke-10 diorang ni kena prepare general abstract untuk disubmit ke IVERS punya buku program tau. Jadi mungkin boleh tolong bagi diorang idea. Kan mungkin minggu ke-10 tu dia tak habis tulis 100%. Tapi semata-mata kita nak masukkan general abstract tu ke dalam buku dan tak dinilai abstract tu. Jadi macam mana dia nak simplekan? Mungkin boleh pergi dekat slide abstract Madam Wani tadi. Mungkin dia tak ada result dia tak betul-betul fully
Dia tak betul-betul, kiranya dia tak mention betul-betul lah.
Jadi macam mana bagi dia orang idea macam mana dia nak prepare the general abstract tu? Bagi diorang idea, sebab contohlah one day diorang ni nak join apa-apa seminar ke apa kan, kita kena hantar abstract kan. Kadang-kadang abstract kita tak perlu lengkap sangat pun okey, janji ada bayangan, you know. So kat bahagian mana kita boleh tak perlu letak sangat as a general, just untuk participation untuk satu symposium atau conference.
Okay, so macam yang saya tunjuk ni, contoh ni sebenarnya simple lah. Dia simple and also macam general punya. Okay, sebenarnya yang macam dekat sini ni, kat findings ni pun dia tak letak details pun dia punya results. Okay, apa findings dia. So yang perlu ada ni macam yang saya cakap lah, ada introduction sikit, perlu ada intro you punya project. Problem statement pun perlu ada. Okay, objektif you punya objektif, and also significant study, method. Biasanya kalau macam kita tak dapat finding lagi tu pun you just cakaplah we further analyse, ataupun cakaplah compound tu might be ada lah tapi belum lagi terdapat kan. So boleh je cakap. Kalau dekat method ni pun sebab method kita dah buat, so bolehlah masukkan dalam yang this abstract, kind of abstract tu. Menjawab tak?
Menjawab.
So
Jadi
kena ada elemen-elemen ni.
Pelajar-pelajar bolehlah take note kan dengan perkongsian ni. So this is your general abstract lah. Tak payah nak pening nanti. Tak tahu macam mana nak hasilkan kan general abstract tu.
Betul, betul.
Senang je. Tarik-tarik je kan daripada
Betul,
penulisan
tarik
tu.
daripada intro tu, intro yang you buat panjang tu kan. Simplify kan dalam 1 ayat, 2 ayat ke? Okay. Dan apa problemnya? Problem yang masukkan. And then objective you. Okay, kalau macam ada 2 objektif tu, simplify kan jadi 1 ayat pun boleh. And then method tu pun just compress lagi. Okay, make sure jangan panjang sangat. And also kena ada keyword lah macam kat sini. Dia tulis natural dyes, dia punya bakteria apa dan juga instrumen apa yang digunakan. Okay, boleh tak?
Boleh.
Okay.
Ada lagi soalan guys tentang lab base ni?
Maadon nak tanya.
Syarifah.
Andai kata result yang kita orang dapat, kebanyakannya negatif result. Contoh macam spektrofotometer. Adakah kita orang dianggap macam fail dari segi achieve
Objektif.
result ke macam mana? Achieve objektif ke macam mana?
Boleh je awak report. Itu sebenarnya negative result lah kan? Betul tak? You tak dapat positive result. So, boleh you report je. Sebab eksperimen ni dia tak ada betul, tak ada salah. You punya project ni tak ada betul, tak ada salah. So, everything yang you dapat adalah you punya research. So, apa benda yang you dapat tu, you punya result sama ada positif ataupun negative result. So, you need to report. So, bila you dapat negative result, so you kena justify. Why? Kenapa result you dapat negatif? So, you discussing on that lah. On that part ataupun on that particular. And you kena support dengan previous study. Supposed to be patutnya dapat macam ni tapi you dapat macam ni. Disebabkan mungkin technical error ke ataupun you punya methods ke. So, you macam suggest. Kenapa you tak dapat macam ni? So, you discuss on that lah. Dia tak ada betul, tak ada salah. Apa yang you buat tu adalah eksperimen. So kalau dapat positif, okay lah. So you boleh compare dengan orang lain kan. Okay, dia sama, dapat sama, and then you kena backup dengan jurnal-jurnal yang lain. Kalau macam tak sama, you boleh cakap contradict dengan other previous research. So kena justify kenapa awak rasa. It might be, mungkin kenapa, macam tu. Okay, Syafiqah? Awak tak dikira fail sebenarnya. Awak reporting apa yang awak dapat tu. So next researcher tu mungkin okay akan aware lah. Okay, researcher yang ni macam awak dapat macam ni tak jadi. So next researcher mungkin akan modify sikit awak punya method ke. So dia take note lah. Okay.
Okay, thank you Maadon.
Okay. Ada lagi tak nak tanya?
Mungkin ada yang worry sikit lah kan. Ni saya tanyalah sebab budak-budak ni tak tanya kan. Mungkin dia rasa macam sepatutnya lab 6 minggu ni dia dapat data this much, this amount. Tetapi dia dapat sikit je data. Mungkin ada yang macam tu. So what can she do or he do to top up ataupun apa patut dia rasa macam tu.
Oh, okay. Apa patut you all rasa kalau macam you rasa data you tak cukup? Okay je sebenarnya, boleh. So you boleh discuss you punya data tu kalau 6 weeks so you rasa macam tak cukup. Okay, you boleh letak dalam you punya discussion as dia punya recommendation ke sepatutnya you punya eksperimen ni should be extend to berapa lagi minggu untuk observe lagi you punya result tu. So boleh je, don't worry, jangan takut, jangan rasa alamak macam ni je dapat ataupun alamak nak dah fail lah dapat macam ni, tak sama dengan jurnal lain. So jangan rasa macam tu. So apa yang you dapat tu dah okay dah bagus dah. Okay, cuma the way how you explain you punya dalam you punya discussion tu. Dalam you punya discussion tu, okay, sepatutnya kalau you dapat sepatutnya macam ni, apa you punya recommendation, apa you punya suggestion, sepatutnya kena ada lebih masa lagi, sepatutnya kena buat this method lagi tambahan. So you kena justify ataupun you kena explain dalam you punya discussion and also you punya conclusion lah tadi yang ada recommendation tu kan. Is it okay Dr. Izzati? Jawab tak?
Jawab. Boleh tak diorang pinjam data orang?
Pinjam data orang dari segi macam mana tu? And then dia analyse balik.
Dia kan tak cukup data dia tu kan.
Mm-mm.
Mungkin patut tak dia macam yalah lebih kepada uh, masuk ambil lebih pada discussion tu lah macam Madam Wani cakap kan. Jadi boleh tak dia masukkan sikit data orang lain. Macam quote lah orang tu, data orang ni dapat macam ni supaya dia nampak lagi mantap ataupun macam include in the table nombor-nombor orang lain ke, boleh tak?
Okey, boleh je tu sebenarnya sebagai reference lah, betul tak Dr. Izzati?
Betul
Sebagai
betul betul.
reference, addition tu so, maksudnya macam okey sepatutnya this apa ni previous research ataupun data orang tu dapat macam ni. And then kita discuss lah daripada data orang tu. Boleh?
So jangan risaulah kan semua orang sebab yelah saya dengar ada yang sampai tukar kepada mode research mode 2 review paper kan. Tapi tu mungkin case dia sangat fail lah agaknya, dia punya method tu dah troubleshoot macam-macam pun tak keluar apa-apa. Jadi tu mungkin dia tukar. Tapi kepada yang macam sikit tu mungkin boleh buat method tambah data orang lain lah macam tu. Kan?
Betul, boleh. Tapi you kena quote lah orang tu ataupun you kena cite orang tu dan discuss about data dia tu and then sepatutnya macam ni, macam tu. Okay, boleh?
Masalah korang ni.
Doktor.
Ya.
Saya nak tanya, saya dah download Minitab. Lepas tu Minitab tu kena bayar. Ada tak yang free?
Minitab berapa sekarang?
Saya download Minitab 20 kot, 20.
Kenapa? Minitab ni untuk statistical analysis.
Untuk buat data analisis. Tapi dia ada free trial. Cuma free trial dia 1 bulan.
Tak
So
boleh ke pakai SPSS?
SPSS tadi saya try download dekat UiTM software punya pita laman web. Dia keluar error.
Minggu depan kan kita dengan Madam Zuraida untuk statistical analysis. Mungkin awak boleh tanya ataupun yang Minitab tu pernah je senior awak macam sebulan trial buatlah sebulan tu, lepas tu tukar email lain, you know?
Alright. Okay.
Terpaksa lah nak buat macam mana.
Okey, tak pun saya nak bagi tak adalah jahat ke apa kan. Macam student saya yang lepas, saya minta dia orang beli dekat Shopee software tu RM4.
Betul.
RM4 saja.
Ni jahat lah juga, dah recorded.
Dia ada SPSS, dia ada Minitab. So saya minta student saya beli. So just RM4 lebih macam tu lah. So nanti dia akan bagi email instruction macam mana nak install. So nanti awak tengok je lah macam tu and then you tengok YouTube macam mana nak guna.
Okay doktor, thank you.
Boleh cubalah kalau you nak ni lah, kalau dah kena bayar kan. So boleh beli kat Shopee?
Setuju. Antivirus semua pun boleh beli kat Shopee kan. Lupa pula. Bagus Madam Wani ingatkan.
Betul. Shopee kan.
Lagi orang lain ni tak ada apa-apa ke nak tanya? Amir Farhang, mana Amir Farhang? Amir Farhang okey? Student saya tu dia tak masuk lab tapi dia buat field work.
Oh, field work. Okey kot tu.
Senyap macam tu. Okey Amir Farhan, dia tak ada apa-apa nak tanya.
Ada kak sikit.
Ah.
Saya dah buat raw metode, raw apa ya?
Raw
data. Tapi saya kena running ANOVA analysis lepas tu. Tapi saya tak faham mana nak running analysis.
Oh, tak faham. Tak faham minggu depan lah.
That one more kepada statistical analysis lah. SPSS tu nanti boleh lah you tengok. Ataupun nak guna Minitab boleh juga. Okay, depends. Tapi minggu depan hanya SPSS kan Dr. Izzati?
Mode 2 review paper dengan Dr. Azlizah dan Minitab. Statistical analysis. SPSS.
Okay.
Jadi minggu depan bolehlah masing-masing sediakan soalan masalah, awak kena study dulu ya semua orang, jangan tak study variable apa, jangan macam tenganga je, tak faham pasal study masing-masing. Lepas tu nanti tak tahu nak tanya apa kan. Orang lain ni betul ni, tak ada soalan ni. Semua okey. Siapa yang belum siap makmal? Ni minggu kelima, boleh 1 minggu lagi. Siapa belum siap makmal?
So lepas tu nanti dia orang kena balik lah Dr. Zati.
Betul. Nak kena
Kan buat
balik.
raya lah kan.
Berapa bulan balik ni guys? Ni nak tanya-tanya soalan ni, nak test ni, dengar ke tak ni, ke main buka?
Lepas tu tidur.
Minggu depan balik bila? Siapa yang duduk college?
Sabtu depan.
Next week, hari
Khamis.
Saya dah
Jumaat.
balik.
Jumaat. Maybe lah.
Jumaat tu ada bengkel tu, macam mana nak dengar?
Sabtu.
Bengkel SPSS kan?
Gerak lambat.
Gerak lambat. Oh, jadi yang bersuara ni habis ke makmal masing-masing?
Belum lagi.
Tu tanya tadi tak jawab. Tapi rasa-rasa boleh dapat data ya minggu depan. Maksudnya minggu depan ni boleh siap lah, insyaAllah ya.
InsyaAllah boleh.
Dari segi pengurusan data semua bersedia, nak bersedia menulis lab base ni okey?
InsyaAllah Doktor.
InsyaAllah ya. So saya harap hari ni dapat membantu korang semua sangat-sangatlah dalam penyediaan untuk bersedia untuk menulis. Madam, kita ucapkan terima kasih banyak-banyak to Madam Siti Nursyazwani atas perkongsian yang to me is very fruitful. Dapat bagi idea lah dekat kamu semua how to write. Jadi sama-sama kita cakap terima kasih dekat Madam Siti Nursyazwani.
Terima kasih, Madam.
Thank you,
Terima
madam.
kasih, Madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Madam.
Madam.
Boleh tak kita ambil gambar? Boleh tak kita semua on camera sekejap, ambil gambar dengan Madam sebab takut lepas ni dia ada hal. Buka kamera sekejap. Boleh tak Madam Siti Nursyazwani buka kamera? Korang semua pun buka kamera. Kita snap sekejap. Oh, Kak Makmal tu dengan penuh tekun.
Bagus.
Oh, Dr. Amirul kat library.
Library virtual.
Library tak pakai mask. Buka guys. Semua orang jual mahal ni. Mela bergambar. Fakrudin tak ada dekat tak sampling? Fakrudin? Tak dengar.
Saya dah habis.
Dah habis?
Sampling.
Dapat semua?
So far dapat.
Alhamdulillah. Okey. Berapa ramai lagi ni sudi buka kamera ni? Oh, Fatah. Fatah kat laut lagi. Alright, sekejap Kita pakai screen capture ke macam mana Dr. Amirul Adli? Ke nak pakai snipping tool je?
Screen capture boleh. Lepas tu tampal dekat Paint.
Okey, sekejap
Buat full screen dulu so that semua gambar besar tak masuk Windows.
Full screen dulu. Buatkanlah.
Boleh, no problem. So, semua orang buka kamera
Dia adalah fotografer virtual kita.
Yes, not only a photographer, a librarian, lecturer and so on. So we have 4, 6. Saya buka 24 window sekarang and then only half yang ada muka.
Semua jual mahal.
Semua orang tak mandi lagi
Komputer saya tak ada kamera.
Oh, gila tu.
Right, no problem. takkan nak pergi beli kamera pula kan. Beli kat Shopee tengah raya sale. Okay, let's see. So full screen. Okay, smile in 3, 2, 1. Sekali lagi, say FYP in 3, 2, 1, FYP.
FYP.
Okay.
Alright, terima kasih sekali lagi Madam Siti Nursyazwani.
Okay.
Nak stay boleh, nak
Welcome.
teruskan kerja pun boleh.
Alright. Okay. Sama.
Alright. Kita tak nak buang masa. I would like to introduce our next panel. Panel kita Dr. Amirul Adli, also our panel last semester. So Dr. Amirul ni mungkin some of you tak pernah jumpa langsung kan, sebab COVID ni. Dia mengajar MIC 461 dan MIC 180. Betul. Betul kan Dr. Amirul Adli?
Betul.
Betul. Lepas tu dia datang daripada UK. Macam tu. Kita ada UK lecturer gitu. Jadi, ya sangat membantu Madam Siti Nursyazwani. Terima kasih jadi panel kita. Jadi without further ado, saya jemputlah panel seterusnya untuk membentangkan tentang mod pengajian 3 dan juga pengurusan reference menggunakan Mendeley ataupun apa-apa yang sesuai. Dia pakar, dia akan cadangkan apa-apa yang korang nak tanya nanti. Okey, dipersilakan Dr. Amirul.
Pakar
Pakar.
Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So mod 3 ni memang campur sekali case study dengan simulation
Boleh kita tanya dulu siapa ada buat simulation, sebab semester lepas student Dr. Student Sarah ada buat simulation lah. Ada tak siapa-siapa boleh mengaku cepat? Kalau tak
kan?
saya rasa boleh fokus pada case study banyak lah kan?
Okay. Alright. Assalamualaikum semua. Selamat pagi lagi. Okay. As you can see, I'm in a library. A weird one because all the spines are the other way around. So nak cari buku pun susah. What kind of library that is? Okay. So today I'm going to share with you a little bit about the alternatives. Okay. So you have in normal times, okay, because you are in the biology punya department, you are doing a biology degree, okay. The natural project is normally lab based. Okay, you will do your lab, you will write a report, write a thesis, and then defend your thesis. That's it. Okay. But now we have to consider other alternatives. Why? Because of the condition we are facing now. Okay. And so adalah alternatif lain, buat literature review, and then ada case study. Okay. Biology yang more naturally come with lab, sekarang dah start buat case study. Okay. And look into some of the specific cases. And also simulations. Okay. The simulation bit is interesting because I have involved in quite a bit of software myself. I wish a lot more people are doing that, and I will explain to you why in my presentation. Okay, so let me present my slide first. Hope you can see me okay, and my audio is clear. If at some point everything starts to go blurry, please let me know. Okay. So before we start,
Wah, gambar dia.
okay. So before we start, can I have some hands or shout out if there's any one of you yang plan untuk buat case study? Ada tak? Ramai tak? Tak kisah you want to comment it on the messages, you nak cakap or you nak raise your hand, please let me know. Ramai tak yang buat case study this semester? Ke semua dah lari pergi tempat lain? Habis je lab terus semua lari. Anybody? Okay, Izzati seorang. Farina 2 orang. 2 orang juga out of 3 orang. So adalah a few. Okay. Dr. Izzati has mentioned tadi yang buat lab ada dalam 20. And then if yang raise hand ni tadi je yang buat case study, so 23. So I guess most of the others are doing literature review lah. Okay. And maybe a few yang buat simulations based on your supervisor punya recommendation. Okay. So yang angkat tangan tadi, okay, can I forgot the names already. Can you or someone volunteer and share what is the topic of your study? Siapa tadi? Nak tulis ke, nak cakap ke? Please go on. Because I need to know what kind of study you are doing. Okay, there are several types of case study and apa? It's better to know lah so that we can discuss the one that are relevant to you.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Siapa tu?
Saya buat case study.
Nama siapa?
Nama saya Farina.
Okay, Farina.
Nursyazwani.
Okay, so what is the topic of your case study?
Saya buat pasal probiotik dalam susu segar, dalam fresh milk. Saya nak tahu rakyat Malaysia ni aware ke tak aware pasal term probiotik. Dia tahu tak kandungan dalam susu segar tu ada probiotik. So saya buat survey lah, saya kumpul dalam 170 orang. Saya cari, saya suruh diorang isi survey.
Okay, and then how's the survey going so far? Dah dapat collect 170 responses?
Alhamdulillah dah dapat.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay. So that is a good example of a case study. Okay. From the traditional lab-based biology, okay, we are starting to go out to other aspects of biology. Okay, awareness. Okay, and then kalau in biology there's no escaping teaching. Okay, teaching materials, PMP, okay, pembelajaran dan pengajaran dan pembelajaran. So those two components involve the social side of biology. Okay, the social side, humans, human intervention, participants, people, okay, situation. So that is when we start to move away from lab and then into case study. Okay. So case study. Okay. So basically case study ni kalau nak senang kita simplify kan is actually you being an investigator. Okay. So you investigate the case because it's clear in the name, it's a case, and you investigate the case. Okay. And then it has to be something specific, a specific phenomenon, a specific group, a specific individual. Okay. It has to be very specific. You cannot have a topic that is very general or broad. So that doesn't fit in the objectives of a case study. Okay. So much of the materials on case study have or had been discussed last year. Okay. So your seniors had Dr. Muaz have or had explained to you little bit about case study last sem, not to you, to your seniors. Okay. So you can refer to this link, YouTube video. And what the materials that I will be talking will complement to what he explained. Okay, I don't want to keep repeating the same things because then it will be redundant. And then combining my explanation with Dr. Muaz, the more you will learn about case study. Okay, you can see Dr. Muaz ada senyum kat situ. Okay, you are lucky to have a really a group of really friendly lecturers. Okay. Alright, so what are case studies? Okay. Case studies are in-depth studies of a phenomenon. Okay. It is a situation, it's a phenomenon like a person, a group, or situation within its real life context. It has to be real life. Okay. It cannot the reason why it's called real life because it involves people. Okay, it involves the social side of things at that particular time. Okay, it doesn't have to be current. Okay, you can generate a case based on historical case. Basically, if you want to reopen the case, for example, police ni find unsolved cases from previous previous unsolved cases. So they buka balik buku and then they try to study the cases again, involving more probably more respondent ataupun the right people to help with the cases. Okay, itu contoh. And it has to be real life because it's involve people. Okay, so all these cases are analyzed and solutions and interpretations are presented. So you analyze the cases carefully, you collect data, and then you present the solutions based on the data you analyze. Okay, and then what for? This is to provide a deeper understanding of a complex topic ataupun kita nak assist person in gaining experience about a certain historical situation. Okay, so in case you always heard about the term case by case basis. Okay, and that is true. One case does not necessarily be similar to other cases. Okay, but in millions of cases, they are bound to have a few that are similar. Okay, and then once you build the cases strong enough, so let's say macam apa yang tadi buat pasal probiotics dalam milk. Okay, if you build that cases strong enough, and then the next researcher yang start nak study pasal awareness on probiotics akan refer to your suggestion. Okay, you dah tanya dah this group, let's say you tanya groups of I don't know B40 contoh. Okay, contoh macam mana dia punya acceptance on fresh milk, okay, and probiotics macam mana, boleh tak dia orang afford fresh milk, do they drink fresh milk or whatever, and then the next group can improve on that. Okay, kenapa dia target B40, kenapa tak target yang higher groups ataupun lower groups even, and then how the data can be analysed collectively to provide a better solution so that everyone can afford fresh milk containing probiotics, for example. Okay, so that you can supply good nutrients for everyone regardless of gender or pendapatan, income, and so on and so forth. Okay, so those are the function. Okay, you generate a case good enough so that other people in the future boleh refer to your case and then follow your suggestion. Okay, and then as mentioned earlier, used across a wide variety of discipline, but more frequently the social sciences or medicine. Okay, so kalau so dalam biologi benda ni jadi slightly blurry lah. Okay, mana satu case study, mana satu lab. Okay, because naturally it's all lab work. Okay, but when it involves a social side of that particular field, okay, humans, situations, okay, so that is when it become a case study. Okay, and then medicine pun sama. Medicine is slightly more specific lah. Okay, only people who do medicine degree je understand medicinal case study. Okay, so I won't touch more into that. So why do we do case study? Because we are focusing on certain cases or phenomenon or related cases or phenomena. Okay, and then they generally involve qualitative research. Okay, macam yang tadi dia buat survey. Okay, and then survey is normally qualitative. Okay, you asking for awareness. Do you you tanya soalan kat dia orang, do you know that fresh milk contain probiotic? Okay, you have to ask the right question, and then but the data you have is qualitative. Okay, it's not a data that you can it's not numbered. Okay, it's not quantitative like lab work provide. Okay, so although it can be slightly semi-quantitative, okay, boleh ada sedikit number yang you want to report, statistics, okay, but the main data is qualitative, so you have to be familiar with qualitative research. Okay, unlike lab work yang lebih fokus on quantitative. Okay, masalah dengan case study ni is sometimes they are criticized for being unreliable. Okay, too general and open to bias. Okay, sebab because it is qualitative, okay, there is no right or wrong answer and there is no right or wrong question. Okay, you can ask any question you want, but then your data from the answer you get from that question will reflect whether your question is good or not. Okay, because then you will have to collect all the data and analyze them and try to come up with uh, a suggestion ataupun proposal. Okay, itu yang jadi susah, sebab tu dia lebih senang di criticize sebab it's a qualitative research. Okay, kalau quantitative macam lab simple, ada SOP, ada metodologi, terus kalau buat ni kena follow this methodology. Okay, kalau tak follow, why, explain why, kenapa you tukar certain material instead of guna this material. It's rather simple for quantitative research. Buat qualitative ni dia lebih it's more intensely looked at. Okay, semua orang nak tahu kenapa you tanya soalan ni, kenapa you pilih soalan ni instead of this question, why you are targeting this group but not the other group. Okay, lagi senang kena criticize. Okay, but all that can be overcome if you follow specific guidelines. Okay, which we will go through now. So we'll go through the general guidelines first before we get into the more specific ones. Okay, first you have to determine the research question and carefully define it. Okay, your question has to be clear and correspond to a particular case. Okay, jangan broad sangat, mesti carefully define. Okay, and then the research question for case studies generally start with a how or a why. Okay, how do you want to raise awareness of this group of people on probiotics in fresh milk. Okay, itu soalan pertama you, how. Okay, and then you start to develop the case, you start to write down the research questions. Okay, and then think about, devise a plan about how you want to collect the data. Okay, you have to choose the case wisely. Let's see if I can. Oh, there you go, laser pointer. You have to choose the cases wisely and state how data is to be gathered and which techniques for analysis you'll be using. Benda ni paling penting. You have to choose the right technique. Okay, I'm not so much of a statistical person. Okay, my statistic is something else. It's not familiar to you. Okay, so you have to choose the right software. Okay, because of course certain softwares have certain limitation, and then certain softwares are meant to use for certain data. Okay, certain techniques, certain statistical methods. You have to choose that correctly. Okay. Nanti boleh belajar lah dengan in the next classes, okay, about statistics. And well-designed studies consider all available options for cases and for ways to analyze those cases. Okay, kena ada all available options. Tak boleh tertinggal something yang kadang-kadang tu lebih critical in the case, for the case. Okay, and then that would help a lot in strengthen your case. So there's a lot of thinking process going on there. You have to consider all factors. Okay. And then multiple sources and data analysis methods are recommended. Okay, contoh tadi kalau yang tadi buat survey saja kan. Kalau survey tu macam mana ni nak reach out to more populations? Do you just hand out flyers? Do you send Google Forms? Guna social media nak send forms ataupun survey ni? Try and adopt as many methods as possible to cover as many grounds as possible so that you have a more reliable data. Okay. Next, consider how to deal with large data sets. Okay. And now that you have collected yang tadi 170 orang kan, that is probably slightly not that large. Okay, you can handle 170. Okay, your pensyarah handle berapa ribu soalan or exam papers. Okay, you can handle it 170. No problem. Okay. Imagine yang itu yang banci penduduk tu. Okay, millions of data. And then soalan pun bukan yang pendek-pendek. Okay, kalau siapa yang jawab banci tu tanya mak ayah, garu kepala juga jawab tu. Banyak, penuh information. And then imagine 24, is that the population of Malaysia now? Probably a lot more now. 30 millions of people punya survey, punya data. How do you want to deal with that? Okay, and then there are, imagine kalau question you tak suitable, tak bagus, so you have 30 millions of unreliable data. That's why and then it apa orang kata snowballs. Okay, lagi besar data you, kalau soalan you tak bagus, lagi teruklah data you jadi. Okay, so itu maknanya macam it's a really bad consequences. That's why you have to formulate good questions. Okay, mesti bagus. Cara nak tahu dia, adalah banyak cara dia. Tanya orang yang lebih pakar, okay. Tanya ataupun refer case studies yang related and so on and so forth. Okay, and anticipate how you will interpret answers. Okay, multiple collection methods will strengthen the study, as I said before. And then once you have formulate the questions, now it is time to start collecting. Okay, yang ni consider how to deal with large data sets ni sebelum you start, bukannya tengah-tengah collect tiba macam Allah banyaknya, alamak tak cukup tak cukup memori dekat dalam phone, okay? Tak cukup memori dekat dalam komputer, tak ada ruang, okay? Start thinking about that before collecting the data, okay? And then once you collect the data, always organize them properly, okay? You have to organize them. Kalau you nak organize, you know, based on age ke, based on gender ke, it's up to you lah. Terserah kepada study tu lah macam mana. But always get them organized. There's nothing worse than tengah-tengah ujung tu dah nak tulis paper apa semua, nak tulis thesis, data berterabur entah ke mana. Satu dalam folder ni, satu dalam a folder within a folder within a folder, okay? New folder, ping, empty folder. Terus tak jumpa. So organize your data carefully. So data organization ni adalah cara-cara teknik-teknik dia sendiri. So you all can find that elsewhere. Okay. And then once you have the data and it's all organized properly, you have to analyze them very carefully. Okay. Very, very carefully. Why you now you have if you already have a good questions, you can only expect good answers from the respondent. Okay. You can only expect, because some of them kadang jawab macam malas-malas je sebab kena paksa. Okay? That's the most difficult thing about surveys. Okay, your fate is really dependent on dia orang punya kesediaan. Okay, so betul that's why nak buat survey ni, you kena approach them carefully, think about the question, think about the time you want to do the survey. Okay, your deadline ni bagi hari ni, esok wajib hantar. Okay, bagi kat sekolah, suruh budak sekolah jawab, esok wajib hantar. Okay, goodbye lah jawabnya. Okay, think about that, and then once you the answer yang dia dah bagi tu nanti you have to analyse. Is it consistent? Okay, adalah cara-cara dia, tips-tips nak buat soalan macam you nak track orang yang menipu ke apa kan. That is another story lah. Okay, analyze them very carefully, and then you try to come up with a suggestion or proposal. And after that, barulah kita prepare a report. Okay, that is the general guideline. And hopefully that is helpful lah. So now, let's go a bit deeper on how to write a good case study. Macam mana kita nak write a good one. Okay, the technique to write a good case study is divided into a few phases. Okay. Phase 1, getting started. Belum terus start, getting started, baru nak start ni. Okay, belum start engine lagi, baru nak cari kunci. Okay, you have to plan awal-awal lagi. Okay, so step 1, determine which case study type, design or style. Ni yang paling penting. Okay, ada several type of case studies that are relevant to you. Okay, and some of these types had been explained by Dr. Muaz in the video I showed you just now, so you can have a look, but I'll just share a screenshot of his video there. Okay, you can see that ada a few types. Okay, illustrative. Okay, illustrative ni is more containing illustration. Okay, graph ataupun charts. Okay, and then this is more relevant in marketing and business, where you know if you do studies and then you come up with charts and plan ataupun what's the word macam contoh pola. Okay, pola of some situation, and then if you see if it's a pola dia menurun ke apa ke, and then you try to study what the causes and effects, and then what you plan to do to change that event. So that is more some sort of illustrative punya case study. And then there's exploratory, okay, investigative, and then there's cumulative info comparison. This is when if you study different groups, you want to compare groups, you want to compare individuals. And then critical, okay, examine particular subject. Okay, these are some of the different types of case study that you can choose. And then you have to choose that earlier on. Okay. So thoroughly analyze the situation which could reveal factors or information otherwise ignored ataupun unknown. Ni macam saya cakap tadi juga. You have to thoroughly analyze the situation and then consider factors that might have been ignored. Okay, macam tadi contoh polis dia buka balik kes yang unsolved. Okay, dia study balik apa yang berlaku, siapa witness mana yang dipersoal, apa witness ni jawab, and then is it consistent with the environment, the crime scene, contohlah. Okay, ini lebih kepada forensic science, but it's the same thing. Okay, and then you think about apa yang kurang kat situ. Okay, let's say it happens in broad daylight, okay, dekat public. Okay, adakah semua orang witness di interview oleh polis tersebut? Kalau di interview, apa soalan yang ditanya, apa yang dijawab. Okay, and then you study based on that historical case, and then you think about how you wanna address it. Okay, maybe ada witness yang tak dipanggil, ada witness yang tak datang. Okay, contoh dia datang panggil tapi tak datang, lepas tu tiba-tiba solve the case. Okay, macam it's a bit unfair there. Okay, ataupun tak solve langsung sebab ni tak datang, tiba-tiba ada case lain yang lebih besar. Okay, white collar crime, so yang murder sikit-sikit ni tu tak tepi. Okay, so consider that. Okay, so that is how you create a good case. Okay, consider factors that would be otherwise ignored ataupun unknown. Okay, and then you come up with a topic of your case study, and the topic has to be certain juga. Okay, jangan broad sangat. But normally normally case studies would contain the word case study. Okay, and then we'll hopefully see some examples in a bit. And then step 3 of getting started, research case studies that have been published on the same or similar subject matter. Okay, cari case studies yang sebelum-sebelum ni. Macam mana dia orang buat, macam mana dia orang collect data, how they analyze the data. Okay, learn from them and then see if you can reproduce or make it better. Okay, so not only it gives you idea on the existing problem that needs solving, it also helps with the formatting. Okay, ni format ni yang paling penting because there are several types of case studies and each may have different format. So I'm not going to touch on format in this session. So that's why you have to find out case studies yang related so that you can have some insights on their formats. Okay. Now phase 2, preparing for the interviews. Okay, step 1, select participants that you will interview for inclusion in your case study. Okay. So not only you need to have a good set of questions, you also need to select the right participants and ask the questions to the right group. Okay, experts or first-hand witness, customers, ni kalau business and marketing. So they are knowledgeable people, individual or group of individuals. Okay, janganlah tanya pasal awareness on industrial revolution kepada budak tadika. Okay, so that is not the right way to address that. Sebab tu you have to select the right participants. Okay, you have to be selective, but you cannot be orang kata ignoring the others. Okay, you have to select the right ones, tapi tak boleh select only the one yang you nak, so that the outcome is bias to you. So that is bias basically. Itu yang paling senang nak kena kritik. Okay, you have to select the right participants and not the participants that will only strengthen your case. So that is bias. Okay, nanti bila buat nanti kena tanya soalan nanti, itulah dia. Okay, to that, when people start to criticize you. Okay, tapi jangan risaulah. Kalau criticize, kita improve on our case study. Okay, jangan risau, jangan bersedih. Okay, and then step 2, draft a list of interview questions and decide upon how you will conduct your study. Ini macam tadi dah decide awal, bagi buat survey Google Form ke Microsoft Team ke. Okay, and then contoh kalau kita nak cover B40 contohnya kan, B40 punya group of families, is it suitable to hand out Google Forms? Okay, bagi Google Form, bagi link. Okay makcik, klik link ni makcik. Okay, do you expect them to know? Okay, think about the various methods. Okay, maybe hand out flyers and then you ketuk pintu ambil. Samalah juga dengan survey banci penduduk tu. Okay, yang dulu-dulu dia ketuk-ketuk pintu je. Ni yang apa? Yang family yang takut dengan orang gendong yang bawa kain tu selalu tak nak buka pintu langsung. Okay, okay. Tu dulu punya. Sekarang ni dah makin advance, you give out questionnaires in terms of digital. Apa makcik-makcik pun dah pandai. Sekarang makcik jual kuih online guna Shopee. Okay, no problem. Okay, so senang nak cover grounds. Okay, face to face interview, online questions have to be right. Masalah pasal online ni is a thing because there's no emotion involved. Okay, you are away from them, so they just click based on what they are feeling then. Okay, if you are face to face to them, sometimes there are some informations that you can get from human intervention. Okay, kalau you tanya soalan, you macam polis lah. Kalau polis tanya tu, polis interview tu, kadang-kadang dia boleh squeeze out the truth out of you. Okay, so kadang-kadang online sahaja pun maybe is not recommended. Okay, face to face would help vastly because then you can have also some information that might not be available if you do it online. Okay, and then set up interviews with subject matters expert. Okay, ensure informers are aware of what you are doing. Bagi tahu apa plan yang you nak buat. Ni tak adalah cakap makcik saya nak buat survey, tolong isi. Lepas tu siap lah makcik terkena. Oh ni nak buat data, nak study pasal kita orang ni. So are we lab rats? Makcik sekarang kan power. Okay, let them know what you're doing. So saya student dari UiTM, I'm trying to raise awareness on probiotics and health and in food. Okay, so that everyone is available, everyone can access nutritious food. Okay, instead of makan Maggi je setiap hari kan. Yang and affordable as well. Tu contoh lah. Okay, bagi tahu. Okay, and we are in phase 2 tengah collect data, and then from this data we will analyze and then hopefully come up with a solution. Okay, to fight hunger contoh. Okay, contoh lah tu. Okay, nak fight hunger tulak lah. Okay, and then come to phase 3, obtaining data. Tadi dah set up interviews. Okay, now we conduct the interviews. Okay, request data and materials from subjects to add credibility to your findings. Okay, materials ni could be anything. Kalau let's say photos, quotes, okay. Kalau macam tadi crime scene contohnya, ada witness yang ambil gambar, tapi polis tak interview dia. So you figured out from maybe CCTV camera ada orang yang tengah pegang phone ambil gambar kan. Then you find out that individual, you boleh try, okay, bagi can you share the photo that you caught, that you captured then. Okay, tengok maybe ada evidence baru yang could have provide new insights on the case. Okay, and this is all contoh. Okay, you can apply this example in all other studies. Okay, it's the same thing basically. Okay, collect and analyze all applicable data, put all information together, sort through it and arrange it so that the situation at the case site will be understandable. Okay, ini yang paling penting. Collect and analyze all applicable data. Okay, so adalah yang data yang maybe tak relevan, ada yang fake. Okay, yang macam survey maybe dia saja tekan and then you can, if you caught them, so you have to think about whether to include the data or not. Okay, ataupun maybe ada duplicate, ada orang isi form tu 2 kali. Okay, and then both have different responses. What would you do about that? Okay, so think about that. Okay, and then step 3, formulate the problem in 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, as you go through your data, think about how you can put what you found into a thesis-like statement. Okay, as you go through the data, fikir macam mana you nak formulate the soalan and then which would lead to the answers ataupun the suggestion at the end. Okay, what patterns have your subject brought to light? Okay, concentrate on what material is the most important. Okay, macam susu tadi kan, ada orang jawab maybe B40 ataupun golongan certain group jawab saya tak minum susu, saya lactose intolerant. Macam mana nak deal? Okay, and then Asian pun ramai yang lactose intolerant, susah nak minum susu. Sebab tu we end up minum apa tu, FNN. Okay, FNN tu is not susu. Okay, bear in mind there are what's the word, bukan susu. It's not evaporated milk. Okay, evaporated milk is milk that is evaporated. Condensed milk is the same thing. There ada creamer. Okay, sweetened creamer. Sweetened creamer tu FNN tu, that is not milk. That is based from palm oil. Okay. So you ingat you minum susu sebab tu tak sakit perut. You ingat you tak lactose intolerant sebab you tak sakit perut minum tu, but that is not milk. Okay. That is just sugar and oil. Okay. So careful. Okay. And it's not as nutritious as pure milk. Okay. Okay, so move on. Phase 4, writing your case. Okay, step 1, develop and write your case study. Once you have analyzed the data and once you have the question that you want, one or two questions, relevant questions yang boleh you put in that study that would lead to the right conclusion or suggestion. You start to write your study, to write your case study. Okay, and then in general the format include introduction, background information, presentation of findings and conclusion. These are almost similar to most studies. Okay, only the methods is different. Okay, so this is where you put your data, and then your suggestion or your conclusion is put here. Okay, what solutions have already been proposed and or tried? Okay, kalau studying previous cases, they have proposed to do this. Maybe you can try to do it and see what is the reaction of the respondent. Okay, and then reflect on the proposal. Okay, cakap lah, group ni dulu propose buat certain way, and I've done that. Masih lagi orang prefer minum sweetened creamer. Why? Because it's cheap. Okay, and the awareness. So you have to think about another proposal to create more awareness so that people would drink real milk. Okay. So offer possible solutions, but don't worry about solving the case itself. Okay. You don't have to solve it. You just have to suggest or propose how the next set of researchers can deal with the case should it repeat itself. Okay. Maknanya kalau awareness, you try develop awareness, still tak develop lagi, suggest apa yang the next group boleh buat so that the next group akan cuba. Dan cuba lagi nak raise awareness untuk minum susu segar. Okay. Okay. And then step 2, add references and appendices. This is common to all studies. Okay, make sure they are reliable sources. Okay, jangan suka-suka je ambil case study yang tak berkaitan. Okay. Make additions and deletion as you go along. Please check, okay, that you have write down enough. Okay, and it's a strong enough case that you can submit. Okay. Kalau kurang tambah sikit, kalau panjang berjela sangat and it's a bit lengthy and boring, you can delete a few things. Okay, bukannya delete data, delete parts yang not relevant at all. Contoh macam languages. Okay, you explain it in 5,000 words, but in the end boleh explain dalam a paragraph only. Okay, macam tu deletions. Okay, and then finally, I hope, yes, finally, edit and proofread your work always. Ini biasalah. Bila buat tu dah siap, saya rasa dah okay ni, submit. Biar my supervisor deal with it. Okay. You wish. Okay, edit and proofread your work. Baca balik, make sure everything makes sense, make sure word is right, make sure every sentence means something. Okay, ini supervisor baca, ini ayat ke apa ni kan, separuh jalan, ada yang terbalik-terbalik. Don't do that. Okay, proofread your work always. Kalau tak mampu nak baca sendiri, suruh kawan-kawan baca, and then they return the favor. You baca dia punya, dia baca you punya. Okay, not only that way you can study more on how people do it. Okay, it's also improve your knowledge. So peer review is what you need. Okay, so that you grow together, bukannya seorang-seorang. Okay, itulah dia. Okay, so I have an example here that we can have a look. Okay, can you see that? Are you still here or am I talking to myself? Can I have some responses? Some suara sikit?
Yes, nampak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nampak sir.
Okay. Yang ramai yang tak buat case study ni mesti macam alamak tak nak okay. But you know, who knows, maybe your supervisor nanti wajibkan buat case study, who knows. Okay, so pay attention lah. Okay. Yang ni saya rasa tak ada laser pointer. Okay. Okay, so ini contoh guideline daripada Western Sydney University, WSU. Okay. The case study yang involve problem solving. Okay, this is another type of case study. Okay. Problem solving case studies are used to investigate a problem or situation in a particular individual or group and recommend a solution to the problem based on analysis and theory. Okay. An example of this kind of from nursing is shown below. Nursing ni dia punya department, tak silap. Okay. This is merely an assignment for undergraduate students lah. Okay. So that is the case statement. Okay. Brian, 88 years old, is a resident at a high dependency aged care facility or nursing home. He has developed infectious conjunctivitis in his right eye. On examination, his eye was found to be red and swollen with purulent and sticky discharge. Okay, what a nasty thing to have on your eye. His vision was unaffected. However, he did complain that his eye was painful. Okay, nasib baik boleh nampak. The doctor prescribed gentamicin. This is an antibiotic. Eye drops which were to be administered to both eyes. Okay, using the supplied template, answer the following questions. Okay. Yang ni beza case study ni dengan what you are doing is that they provide the questions. Okay, the university provide the questions, so you merely have to answer the question based on and collecting data based on the question yang ditanya lah. Okay, but what you need to do in your own studies, you yourself have to generate this question. Okay, apa dia background of the case study? Okay, and write them down. Okay, literature review, ada part previous cases yang dah pernah dibuat. Okay, previous case studies yang you nak share dalam introduction. Okay, and then some relevant information as well. Okay, lepas tu create the questions and then you answer them. Okay, so that is why yang kita tengok the general guideline tadi. Okay, collect data and then bila dah collect data tu try and come up with a few questions yang can lead to the suggestion ataupun proposal at the end. Okay, itu contoh lah. Itu problem solving case studies. Okay, ni nampak dia kata transmission of infection. Okay, yang ni dia sakit mata and then dia duduk dekat high dependency aged care facility or nursing home. So nursing home ni naturally akan ada ramai orang tua yang lain. Okay, ini nampak 88 years old. Most of Malaysians don't live that long. Okay, ni mesti orang Eropah ni, orang Amerika. Okay, they live much longer. Somehow, maybe they drink ni kot, real milk kot. Okay, so think about how you wanna collect data. Okay, tanya all the other members in the facility, in the nursing home. Okay, do you interact with this patient? Ada physical touch ke apa semua? Do you have pain in your eye? Okay, and then collect all the data. Baru kita come up with the answer to that. Okay, kalau semua orang kena, so you can say it is easily transmitted. So kenalah jaga, kenalah ada certain steps to avoid transmission. So that is how you develop on the case. Okay, I guess this is quite a relevant type of study for you lah. Okay, because this is probably medicine, but there's a social side of medicine there. Okay. Yang ni descriptive case studies. Yang ni dia guna dalam business. Okay, leadership in a complex world. Okay, leadership analysis case study report. Ini dia study pasal leadership. So they interview certain employee at certain levels asking about leadership, and then they compare the information. Okay, orang ni cakap macam mana, orang ni cakap macam mana, what are their thoughts and perceptions on leadership ataupun on people of higher power, what are the thoughts of people of higher power to the people of orang bawah-bawahan ni. Okay, and then build your case study and then propose whatever you want to propose. Okay, ni business punya ni lah, feel lah. Okay, so those two are some of the examples that might be relevant to you and that could help with you developing your own case. Okay, yang paling penting sekali, always refer to previous cases ataupun related cases that had been done before. Okay, Alright, so I guess that's it for case studies. Okay. Can I ask Dr. Izzati how much time do I have left? Is it until 12?
We can go until 12:30.
Oh, okay. I have so much time. Okay. Yang lain-lain tu, are you still okay? Is it too much already? You want to have a break? Or you have some questions you
I
want to
think they're
ask?
having break right now.
Okay.
Because ni santai-santai je kan.
Yep,
But you
lepas
can
ni
go with
is slightly less wordy lah. So, gambar-gambar je. Which is stimulating.
So I really hope after this semua orang pay attention supaya do you mention about APA style, Dr. Adli?
I could try, but not in my slide right now, but I can try that if you want.
Boleh juga maybe just macam make sure macam from Mendeley, is it going to generate automatically the citation in
Is it?
writing?
Yes, I
Yes.
can try and see that.
Boleh.
I think I've already downloaded APA, but yeah, we'll see. Boleh.
Alright, thank you. So you guys pay attention ya, jangan silap. Nanti supervisor marah, nanti kata penyelaras tak ajar. Lepas tu saya kata Dr. Adli tak ajar.
Oh.
Right.
Siap lah you kena ajar sekejap lagi. Okay. So yeah, are we going for a break or are we resuming?
Can we just resume? Everyone okay tak?
Senyap je semua.
Senyap tak?
Okay, doktor.
Okay. Kita semua dah berubah jadi Sherlock Holmes dah ni, nak apa? Nak tukar semua jadi case study. Ada soalan tak while we have a breather? Amirul Syafiq, okay je. Ni banyak tengok Sherlock Holmes ni. Simple kan. It's almost the same thing. You investigate and then you come up with a proposal or solution. Okay, simple. Okay, macam mana mereka jual susu pekat manis sebagai susu kalau tiada susu? You find that tin and then see if there's actually the word milk on that. Okay, tak ada. Dia tulis sweetened creamer. Dia tak tulis milk. And then that is just marketing to you. Okay, you ingat it's milk because nampak macam putih kan, lepas tu buat teh tarik. No, it's not milk. Okay, maybe lah ada milk powder or whatever, so boleh tengok lah dia punya content, but it's largely something that is not milk. Okay, sebab tu lah orang-orang kita selalu kena kencing manis, and then sebab tu kita tak live until 88 years old. Okay. Any more question? That is not quite related, but okay, thank you Amir. Any other questions?
Then after this, I hope semua orang lagi sensitive to society yang nampak parents bagi anak-anak dia minum susu bancuh guna that palm oil susu. Ramai orang susah, jadi harap semua orang alert jugalah lepas ni. Dah tahu dah tak boleh buat tak tahu apa ni.
Yeah, so that could be a case study on its own, okay? I don't know, I'm giving away the title to you, so you can, I don't know, kalau you nak buat case study on that, you can. But then I know we still have to consider ada je yang tak mampu kan. So what else can we do? They are much cheaper than real milk. And then real milk kat Malaysia ni mahal because we import them. Okay, most of the milk, fresh milk that we have, we import them. Okay, daripada New Zealand, Australia, whatever. Adalah di kat Serdang tu punya susu kan, but because it's very limited supply, the price is still comparable to the one imported. Okay, so it's not easily accessible. So I don't know, maybe we can think about raising more awareness. So bila ada demand akan ada supply. Macam itulah. Okay. Any more questions before we continue?
Sir nak tanya.
Yeah. Ni yang tadi ke yang buat ni tadi ke?
Ya betul.
Farah. Siapa? Farina, okay.
Macam saya kan buat 170 kan, collect orang.
Ya.
Lepas tu kalau ada yang unreliable data, so saya boleh buang. Contoh daripada 170 tu, tiba-tiba bila saya tengok balik data tu, tinggal 160 je yang memang jawab betul-betul. So yang lagi 10 orang tu boleh delete ke?
Okay, deletion apa semua tu is another consideration yang you have to discuss with your supervisor, okay? Because like I said earlier, I'm not a statistical person, but once you I'm easily because I'm not a social science punya guy. Okay, I'm not a person that you should come when asked about social science. But every statistical calculation ada minimum number of participants yang unik untuk make sure it's significant. If I'm not mistaken, so I might be wrong. But there's a minimum number that you need to make sure that your data is significant lah. Okay, and then there's always the normal distribution, whatever and whatnot. The statistical values semua. That has to be assigned ataupun decided earlier. Okay, the minimum number tu. Let's say dia kata, okay, minimum number 170. Okay, so you should not aim only to collect 170. You should aim to collect more, because we want to accommodate data-data yang macam saya cakap tadi, yang tak reliable tu. Okay, so kalau minimum 170, try and collect 200. Okay, so that you allocate some spaces there untuk orang-orang yang tak jawab tak serius ni. Okay, but if the 170 is not minimum, okay, then you can exclude them from your discussion, but you should tell the reader ataupun you should beritahu dalam your study that this data is excluded, and then bagi tahu the reason. Okay, jangan terus senyap-senyap dia cakap, okay, sebenarnya you ada 170 tapi 10 ni macam tak ada, so you cakap you ada 160 data saja. Okay, that is not ethical. Okay, sebab you dah collect all the data. Kalau ada yang tak reliable, you and then you can exclude them. Just mention these data are excluded. Why? Okay. Jawapan dia tak betul, dia ada yang tak isi. Macam-macam lah dia punya explanation dia. Kalau lah minimum 170 and then you buat 170 je you dapat, and then some of them are unreliable, that you have to discuss with your supervisor lah, sama ada you have to go and collect more responses ke untuk catch up to the minimum, ataupun maybe because of the limitations apa semua, then think about how you want to present your data. Okay, so adalah dia punya cara dia nak beritahu limitations. Okay, there's always limitation in a study. Okay, kalau dia kata minimum 170 tapi you dapat 160 je, and then the timeline of the survey dah habis, and then you nak ambil degree apa semua, nak buat macam mana kan? Takkanlah we want to fail you. So discuss with your supervisor how to best describe your result. Okay, faham
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Faham,
you.
faham.
Okay, so yang lain tu dah rehat, dah minum kopi. Boleh puasa kan? Okay, pergi Google all the sweetened creamer punya cans, tengok ada tak perkataan milk. Okay, tiba-tiba menarik pula kan. Okay, I don't know who told me that, and it was quite a revelation itself, because I've always thought it's a can of milk, but it's not. Okay, anyway, okay, so let's continue. Okay, tadi kita dah belajar pasal case study, and now we move on to simulation and modeling. Okay, and then this is highly relevant to biology. Okay, and then it is ever increasing, ever expanding, and then it's starting to gain more and more prominence dalam dunia biologi ni. Okay, and we'll see why. Okay, hopefully tak ngantuk lah. Okay, let's keep going. This is the interesting bit. Okay, right, so simulations and modeling. Okay, basically they are more or less similar to lab based. Okay, everything yang Madam Nursyazwani tadi explain, semua benda tu lebih kurang. Okay, you have literature review, problem statement, objective, significance, semua tu ada. Okay, tengok balik the video, watch the video again, and then see if you understand that. Sama je dengan simulation ataupun modeling. The only down to the core components tadi. Okay, down to the core components tadi, introduction apa semua tu, cara nak tulis, format apa semua sama. The only difference is how you obtain the data. Okay, kalau lab based thesis, of course you sit in a lab. Okay, you buat kerja tu. Okay, you hands on, pipette, grow, centrifuge, okay, PCR, agar, and then dapat data, display. Okay, itu lab. Kalau simulation and modeling, it is more online. It is more something that you do not physically. Okay, you don't do it physically yourself. You only put it in a software, and then the software come up with a result that you can use. Okay. But what this study, simulation and modeling study lacks, apa yang dia tak ada, yang dia kurang, compared to lab-based data is empirical evidence. Okay. Empirical evidence ni maknanya bukti yang not only based on logic. Okay. Kebanyakan simulation and modeling ni is because of calculation ataupun calculation based on the data that we have accumulated over the years. So it is still something that is not 100% real. Okay, it is a simulation. It is something that is not completely empirical. They are based on a logic that exists at that time. Okay, kalau lab based, it is empirical because you do the experiment, what you get is what you get. Okay, there's no magic mathematic into it. Kalau you nak grow pokok dengan tanah yang tak ada nutrien, confirm lah tak boleh grow. Okay, kalau simulation ni dia calculate the possibility. Okay, what the result you have is merely possibilities sahaja. Okay, and then you don't have empirical evidence tadi yang what you have what you prove secara experimental. Okay, tu ada beza dia, experimental data dengan simulations dengan modeling. Okay, sebab tu dia panggil modeling. It's a model, it's not a real house. Contoh macam ni nak buat rumah, okay, kami ada model rumah yang kami nak buat, and then of course this model is not the final version. Okay, yang rumah sebenar nanti kita tengok. So the rumah, the symbolic, the rumah is the real house is the empirical evidence, the model is the simulation or modeling. Okay, itu je beza dia. Okay, so simulation and modeling versus lab-based thesis. Okay, so apa yang ada dalam simulation and modeling ni, they are calculations and prediction based on existing laws or rules. Okay, whereas laboratory-based experiment, they are real experimental observation result. Okay, what you observe in reality, what is happening at that time, you observe it and then you report. That is real data. Okay, whereas simulation ni they only calculate ataupun predict what would happen based on existing laws or rules. Okay, nanti saya bagi contoh lah. Okay, lepas tu secondly, simulations and modelings are prone to bias. Okay, ini sebab apa? Sebab dia calculations, and then bila calculations ada certain formula yang dipropose oleh some bioinformatician ataupun statistician ataupun mathematician lah. Okay, and then calculations can be biased. Okay, because they might not include certain factors yang they don't know, and then these calculations are human made. Okay, we create the formula, we study, then we create the formula at that time. Let's say formula asalnya macam ni. Okay, and then pun kita calculate lah guna formula tu, and then dapat this result. Okay, is it real? At that point, no, because it is based on calculation. Okay, and then the only way to prove it is by doing real experimental work to observe the result. Okay, but then what the formula that exists then might be biased, but maybe ada certain factor yang dia tak consider. Sebab tu you cannot have answers to everything because there is limitation to human mind. Okay, at that point. So bila datang research baru yang let's say datang Stephen Hawking, and then he thought of something. Oh, why don't you consider gravity as a factor? Okay, and then masuk, sudah dah boleh create new formulas. Okay, and then that simulation after that will produce obviously different result from the previous one. Sebab tu simulation dengan modeling ni dia prone to bias. Okay, maknanya at that point they consider bias lah sebab tak betul. Stephen Hawking datang, okay, this is the current accepted formula. So is it biased? Selagi tak ada orang yang lawan dia, then yeah, it is accepted. But still it is a simulation. Okay, it is not real data. Okay, so kalau dalam biology punya field yang paling familiar with you is bioinformatics lah. Okay, bioinformatics. Yang ni bioinformaticians, banyaklah yang guna deal dengan software ni. Okay, there are a lot of people who are starting to look into this now. Okay, but to be a good bioinformatics, Normally you have to have this part first, okay? You have to know how to code, you have to know maths, okay? Kalau maths tak suka, physics tak suka, macam mana nak buat, okay? What you can, because now everything is easier, is made easier for people, okay? Kalau laboratory based pula, tadi prone to bias, jadi legit observation, dia observe that in reality, it is real in the real world, okay? It is the reality, dia bukannya macam model, virtual model yang tak wujud, okay? You can see that, you put that in the microscope, you can see that, that's legit observation, okay? Bioinformatics, the lab based juga, dia ada bioinformatics tapi dia back up with experimental evidence. So these are the differences, okay? And then because of this, akan ada tension between the two, okay? So you can have hardcore experimentalist yang memang I don't want to see any models or simulation. I want real data, I want real structures. Contoh, okay? Tapi simulation kata, my results are reliable. Okay, we use the current formula, the most updated ones. Okay, and that which split them into kind of two sworn enemies. Okay, but this was in the earlier years lah. Okay, because like I said, formula tu evolve in time. Okay, back then formula tu baru nak develop. So that's why experimental data lagi penting ataupun lagi reliable than simulations. But okay, so this is how they grow. Okay, walaupun they hate each other ni, okay, yang laboratory based ni, what they provide more is the data, and that is real data based on empirical evidence, okay. And then data-data ni semua masuk dalam database, and all the data can be stripped down to the core, and then that can be translated into a formula that can be used as a as a simulation ataupun modeling. Okay, contoh mudah, protein folding. Okay, I'm sure you have learned biochemistry. I don't know which code and who's the lecturer, but you would have learned about protein folding, macam mana protein ni fold, okay, in 3 dimension. Okay, adalah primary, I think ni dalam diploma pun dah belajar, so you are in your final year of degree, you should know this. Okay, primary structure, and then secondary bila dia form alpha helix dengan beta sheets, okay, terutama beta strand, and then tertiary is when they form a domain, okay, and then quaternary is when they react with together, apa semua ada bond-bond yang terlibat. Okay, back in the early years, bila they want to study protein structure, they have to start from scratch. They don't have any data at all, so they have to do it experimentally. Okay, they have to solve that structure using experimental techniques. Adalah guna NMR ke, guna X-ray crystallography ke, I don't know, you have heard that. Electron microscopy, I don't know back then how good it was, but crystallography was one of the early techniques to study protein structure. Once they
Dr. Adli, sorry
yes,
kacau.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
once that, okay, nanti kita sambung situ. Nanti 2020 ni include Mendeley boleh?
Yeah, boleh, ni dah nak habis dah ni.
Alright, okay.
Yes.
Proceed. Once there, okay, teruskan.
Okay, apa tadi? Okay, once they have solve all the structures of proteins, which can vary, in a really high range of structures. Okay, ada bentuk bulat, ada bentuk petak, ada bentuk bintang. So all these are solved experimentally. Okay, and then from there, we realize that there is a certain way protein folds. Okay, contoh macam kalau you belajar Ramachandran plot, amino acid disusun. Okay, amino acid ni dia akan first kali daripada primary sequence dia akan start folding, ada angle-angle tertentu, phi and psi angle contoh. Okay, hopefully you are familiar with this lah, kalau tak boleh cari, okay, Ramachandran plot. Ada certain limitations of how the angle should be. Okay, contoh glycine punya amino acid. Okay, phi and psi angle dia ada dia punya range dia, tak boleh out of that range. Kalau dia out of that range, is not natural and hasn't been seen in real experimental data. Okay, and then what that has provide is a set of data that you can translate into a formula. Okay, kalau you ada glycine, and then based on what you see in the real world, it is experimental evidence, they would fall in this certain way, and then you can model how this sequence to fold based on the data provided by the experimental evidence. Itu datangnya simulation and modeling. Okay. So simulation and modeling ni paling relevan bagi saya sebab saya buat protein ni lah. So it is interesting, okay, how the data that collected over the years have helped and identifying new structures from scratch just by using mathematical calculation. Okay. So in terms of protein structure tadi, contoh kita ada sequence, kita boleh fold guna mathematics ataupun calculation tadi, and then again that is a model, that is still not the real one. And how to know the real one? You do the experimental work and then compare. Okay. And then what people have seen over the years now, that the model that you generate from the calculation is almost as similar to the experimental structure. So that is how good the formula is now. Okay, because there might be some certain limitations in the experimental work as well. Okay, contoh macam you buat try nak solve the structure tak boleh. Why not you try and model that and see if that could provide a sort of answer to your question. Okay, although it is still limited, but it is near to perfect. Okay, itu contoh. Okay, but despite this argument between the two, adalah social researcher yang langsung tak buat lab, and then also depend on surveys. They have to interview people, have to deal with people. Okay, kesian. Okay, but then that is the reality. Okay, between social science dengan natural ataupun fundamental science. Okay. So now we know. Okay, from the recent tragedies of COVID-19, you can see labs were closed, so all these hardcore experimentalists tak boleh buat lab, so they had to start switching to the bioinformatics, and then bioinformatics relax je. Okay, pencara-pencara yang ada KPI kena ni, ada student tak boleh masuk lab, sedih. Yang bioinformatics relax je, lepak dekat rumah boleh buat kerja. Okay, guna software je. Okay. So this basically answers what I said just now. Lab-based results have contributed enough data, okay, to set collective rules or laws to predict certain outcomes. Okay, and then advancement in technology had helped with contributing and making calculations easier. Okay, big data, they can handle large sets of data now in a quick way. Okay, you boleh calculate stuff in mere minutes. Okay, back then komputer pun besar almari. Okay, sekarang ni komputer besar tapak tangan je. Okay, and then it's getting more and more advanced by the second. Okay, so that is why bioinformatics is gaining more relevance, okay, in the field of science. Okay, ini contoh studies yang kita boleh guna dalam bioinformatics. Okay, contoh protein, structure and function. Okay, kalau limitation untuk solve the structure experimentally, let's say kat Malaysia tak ada lab untuk buat crystallography contoh, you boleh buat modeling and then suggest the function from the model sahaja. But then of course you don't want to submit that paper ataupun that thesis to an experimentalist, because then you would be criticized to the end of time. Okay, so know your audience. Itu contoh dia lah. Itu ni protein and structure function, nucleic acids, DNA, RNA, and then phylogenetics. Ni maybe yang Dr. Sarah yang punya student yang buat. Okay, ini contoh software yang terlibat. Okay, you have NCBI, National Center of Bioinformatics, I think. Kat sini you can search for everything. Okay, especially gene sequences. Okay, bila gene sequences, what they have deposited, ada yang unknown gene, maknanya gene tu kita tak tahu apa function dia. Okay, and then sometimes they can tell apa function gene tu because of the sequence. Okay, sequence DNA dia sama dengan sequence DNA for that code for polymerase contohnya. So dia boleh suggest there is a polymerase as well. Tapi ada juga yang unknown. So bila unknown ni lah you try to study them, cari unknown genes, macam mana structure dia, what can you find out about them, do they fall into certain structures, if they do, and if you have a model, can you compare that model to any structures yang available and then see what their functions are. Okay. Ni blast. Blast ni biasa nak buat local alignment search. So you put a sequence, a known sequence, then find out if there are unknown gene elsewhere in other species. Okay. Homologs, orthologs, all those sorts. Okay. And then this expertise. Okay, I put the link here as well, so you can try and if you are interested, you can explore this. Okay, expertise ni biasa senang untuk study that, and what you only need to do is to put in the sequence saja. Okay, letak sequence, dia bagi, they calculate that, and then dia bagi result to you. And then it's up to you to discuss the result. Okay, kalau dia yang ni contoh karakteristik protein ni, dia ada domain yang sama dengan domain DNA binding protein yang wujud dalam structural database. Okay, so kalau dia model tu lebih kurang, so you can assume that protein is a DNA binding protein. Okay, so this is Cypret. Contoh juga protein for recognition, structure feature recognition. Ni transmembrane topology. You put in the sequence, dia boleh identify mana region yang most likely to be transmembrane, ataupun dia protein tu terletak di dalam membrane bilayer of your cell. So it could be membrane protein lah. So protein nanti you tahu juga ada banyak jenis, ada membrane protein, ada cytoplasm protein apa semua. Okay, this is a model that you see on PyMol. Okay, PyMol is a software to view structures. Okay, and then this is a DNA molecule you can see. Okay, this I suppose this is a real structure of experimental work. Okay, let's say you try and model an unknown gene, and then the structure is somehow like this. So you can kind of propose that your unknown gene is actually a DNA binding protein. Macam tu. Nucleic acids pun sama juga. Okay, there are a lot of studies that you can do regarding nucleic acids. Okay, you can do multiple sequence alignment, check for mutations. Okay, and then prevalence of mutated genes. Okay, there's a lot of things that you can do. Okay, ask your supervisor. Okay, and then finally phylogenetics. Ini yang tree of life tu. Okay, kalau you nak study correlation ataupun evolutionary origin of strains. Okay, let's say you ada banyak strains yang you identify from sungai, and then you want to see how they are related to each other, what are their parent organism apa semua. So that is phylogenetics. Also can be done using a software by only putting in the sequence. Okay, tak perlu duduk dalam lab 5-6 bulan. Okay, software je. Okay, so conclusionnya, case study normally focuses on the social side. Okay, like I said earlier, it's the social side of science. Okay, whereas modeling and simulation apply bioinformatics tool to calculate ataupun predict the outcomes to be further validated. Okay, kalau you nak you have a model, you can publish that in a in a modeling punya paper ataupun field lah. But if you want to go further, then you can start validating your model using experimental observations. And then that would hopefully really take you further. Okay, and each has important role based on the objective of your study, and each method has its own audiences. Misalnya cakap tadi. Okay, jangan menjolok sarang tebuan. Okay, kalau nak ada paper modeling and simulation, if you don't have experimental results, try and limit yourself with the right audience saja. Okay. Alright, so that is it on simulations. So I hope that kind of interests you in trying to explore the field of bioinformatics. All you need is just internet and free softwares and available data yang dekat dekat database, public domain database. Okay, itu saja. Tak perlu nak pergi lab, tak perlu nak bangun daripada katil pergi lab. Dulu kalau work from home ni duduk kat rumah je. Okay, angkat, buka laptop, submit, analyze. Okay, simple. So, any questions before we proceed? And then probably I shouldn't delay more, so we'll just proceed now, I guess. Okay. Kalau kalau penat bolehlah stretching sikit. But yang paling penting, sila duduk, jangan lari. Okay, we have 15 more minutes. Okay. Okay, so I'm trying to tell you a little bit about Mendeley. Okay, Mendeley is a reference management software. Okay, but you have to know what Mendeley does. Okay, and what it does not. Okay, Mendeley is a reference management software. Okay, but it does not manage it for you. Okay, you are the manager. Mendeley is just a mere tool. Okay, okay. It is intelligent enough to help make citation much easier. Okay, but it is not an all-knowing artificial intelligence terminator. Okay, you expect, oh, saya guna Mendeley, so 100% my references would be 100% correct. No, okay, dia bukan all-knowing. Dia it's just a tool that you control. Okay, and it is actually prone to error. Okay, to much surprise, it is actually prone to error based on what you do. So it is important that you are taught the right way of how to use these softwares. Okay, and then it is not a faultless software. Okay, unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe at some point you will have a better software by AI or whatever. We'll see what the future holds. Okay, okay. So now is the time where we can start to have some fun with the software. Okay, I have mentioned to Dr. Izzati that you can install Mendeley before we continue with the session. Have everyone installed that software? Did you have any problems? Can I have some response? Ada tak? Semua dah ni ke?
Tu
Yeah.
ada. Fakrudin tu the problem, the one that I forwarded the message to you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I acknowledge the error, Fakrudin. Thank you. Ada anyone else? Kalau tak install pun tak apalah. You see how I do things, and then hopefully you can I'll provide some information if you want to do it yourself. Okay. So, boom. Okay, first of all, download installation. Okay, this is really rather simple. I don't have to tell you how to do it. You just have to Google it. Okay, find the link. Okay, and then install it. Okay. Once you have that installed, that is the one you install is what we call Mendeley desktop. Okay, it's a software that you download and then you install on your machine. Okay. Masalah dengan download Mendeley desktop ni, it is not applicable ataupun dia tak sesuai. It's not compatible with recent Mac machine. Okay, siapa yang peminat Apple fans, it is unfortunate that recent ataupun the most recent laptops, the most recent MacBook, it cannot support Mendeley desktop. So there's always other alternative. You can always use other softwares like EndNote or other softwares. Ada banyak lagi, Zotero, banyak. Okay, many different softwares that you can use. And then you'll be surprised actually. All these softwares are just tools. Okay, and then if you know the real technique of referencing, you don't have to really rely on any software. Well, you have to rely on a software, but not you don't have to pick the best one or not. Okay, if you know how to do it, then any software would do. EndNote boleh, Mendeley boleh, Zotero boleh, anything. Okay, but my aim here is to teach you Mendeley. Okay, so right. So first of all, this is another issue. Okay, this is another issue. Microsoft Office 365. Okay, we the lecturers, we are provided a Microsoft account. Okay, where you can log in Microsoft website. Okay, and then download Microsoft Office 365. Okay, and then I'm sure all of you students ada dapat email Microsoft ataupun account Microsoft yang siswa tu, and I don't know what you have been doing with that email, because in the end lecturer guna Google Classroom, and then you all have your own personal Google. Ada yang siap create other stuff at gmail.com. Okay, just tak nak kacau personal work kan. If you have that siswa account Microsoft tu, find out if you have a password for that. Try and log in Microsoft punya website and see if you can download 365. Because if you can, then That is the most recent Microsoft Office software that you can get. Okay, recent Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel yang paling latest. Okay, and then it is much advanced, more advanced than the others. So 2016, 2019. 365 ni is continually updated. So try and find out if you can do that. Kalau tak boleh, tak apa. Okay. So how to do it is to do these two important thing. Okay, ada Microsoft Word plugin dengan Web Importer. Okay. Okay, so I'll start to share my screen now so you can hopefully see my entire screen. Okay, nampak tak? Okay, so this is the inception. You see a screen within a screen. Okay. Alright. I'm trying to open. Okay, once you have installed it, open Mendeley desktop. Okay, so it will run like that. Okay, that is your window. Okay, nampak tak window tu? Can someone just voice out if you can see that?
Nampak.
Nampak.
Okay, siapa yang dah download, you will have this. Okay, kalau tak ada lah. So download lah lepas ni, try. Okay. Okay, first kali that you have to do, wajib sebelum buat apa-apa, tools, dua ni. Okay. Install Web Importer. Nanti klik ni and then follow the steps lah. Yes. Nanti you akan pilih lah nak letak kat browser Chrome ke, Mozilla ke. I would use Chrome. Okay, because Chrome is the simplest one, paling ringan lah so far. And then Microsoft Word plugin, dua-dua ni kena install. Okay. Ini uninstall sebab saya dah install lah. So install dua-dua ni dulu and then you are ready to go. Okay. So let me just open a dummy Word document. Okay. Okay, let's say this is your thesis. Okay. Then we go back to okay, you have installed the web plugin and then you have installed the Microsoft Word punya plugin. Okay. Okay, first kali, let's say you want to find an article. Okay. So I have opened this website for you. Okay. Let's say you tengah-tengah tulis your thesis and then you find out, nak cite this paper lah. Then you find this. Okay, ni dalam NCBI punya website, dia ada paper kat sini. And then it's a full paper. You see that is particle sequence alignment, that is protein structures. Okay, very recent paper on COVID. Okay, you nak this paper. So this is it. Nampak tak my mouse there? Voice out someone.
Nampak.
Bila you dah install the plugin, the web browser plugin tadi, this is it. Okay, this is what we call Web Importer. Okay, kalau you nak this paper, you click. Tengok dia terus. Sepatutnya dia akan login dulu lah. Dia kena login, lepas tu dia akan searching. Dia cari ada tak paper tu. And then tengok, this is the paper that you want. Molecular basis of pathogenicity of human coronavirus. What's good about Mendeley, dia boleh grab the PDF if it is available. Tengok, ini PDF dah ada. Bila ada tulisan PDF megah ni, maknanya PDF tu dah available for you to download. Okay. Kalau you minat dia ni, you boleh tekan tick there. And then what's good also is that they can screen the whole page for other papers. Okay. Oftentimes they also put on the papers yang paper ni cite. Contoh reference list of this paper. Bawah-bawah ni. Okay. Dia boleh jumpa sekali. Depending on the availability lah. Okay. Tapi let's say you tak nak that first, you just want that paper. Click on that. This is the folder that you want. Pilih folder mana nak. Okay. Ni saya punya folder lagi. Okay. So I just letak dekat my library saja, dekat first directory. Tekan add. So dia akan add kat situ. Okay. Okay. So dia kata PDF ada tapi dia fail to get the PDF. This is what I mentioned before. It is not 100% perfect. Okay, dia boleh ambil the reference tapi the PDF tak dapat. But doesn't matter. Okay, you can if the PDF is available, you can download them. For example, this you can view the PDF here. Okay, you can also click that PDF there. Okay, kalau klik kat sini dia buka PDF. See? Okay. So what if you search tadi and then you jumpa PDF? Okay, and then you wanna download that. Okay, let's see what happen. Kalau kita klik web plugin importer ni tadi, dia tengah cari-cari, dia tengah scan-scan. Okay. Lembab pula ni. Okay. Okay. Tengok. Is the paper as well, the same paper. But what the problem here is that dia tak ambil the whole author list. Okay, dia terus tulis AL kat situ. And then nama artikel tu pun tak ada. Okay, infection and drug resistant tak masuk kat dalam ni. So this is one of the error yang boleh terjadi. Okay, so make sure you don't download ataupun add the reference to your library from a PDF view. Always go back to the NCBI view. Okay, kalau macam ni, and then you ambil yang ni, lepas tu you guna terus Mendeley, terus cite your paper there, what you end up is the reference tak ada journal article kat situ. Dia tak ada tulis infection and drug resistant. Dia terus tulis 2020. And that is now an error. And then you think, saya guna Mendeley is a good software, sepatutnya dia buat lah. Dah lah download free. So that is what I meant earlier. You are the manager. You have to cross check betul ke tak dulu sebelum you save your citation. Okay, title dia betul ke tak, reference list author list dia cukup ke tak, lepas tu version, journal nama, okay, name of the journal. So this is an example of a bad data to grab. Okay, so don't grab from this, always grab from the main page. Okay, itu contoh. Okay, so now what you have grabbed that tadi yang ada tick tadi kan. So nak dia keluar kat sini, tekan synchronize kat sini. So it will come out. Does it come out? Ni Pak Purajab, Fatimah, semua ni dah keluar dah. Okay, and then you baru add tadi 12-24 hari ni. Okay, tengok dia ada kat atas ni, dia cakap these details need reviewing. This is your role. You kena review this dulu before you kata details are correct. So title dia, author list, volume, pages ni semua you kena make sure it is betul dulu based on the website first. Okay, tengok do they grab the right details. Okay, baru you confirm yang the details are correct. And then that has to only be done once sahaja, sekali je. So kalau you rasa alah leceh lah nak buat macam ni, tak payahlah study. Balik rumah. Okay, rehat dulu. Just do it once and then you can it is in your library forever as long as Mendeley is updated lah. Sekali dia discontinue, nasib lah kan. But it is in your library forever. Kalau you nak next study, you nak cite on the same paper, it is all correct now. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, macam tu. So let's say I say details are correct, and then dia dah simpan. Okay, so this is your paper. This is your citation. Tadi PDF dia tak dapat grab sebab tu dia tak ada logo PDF here. Tapi ada certain tu yang dia boleh grab tu, dia ada logo PDF kat sini. And then what's good about Mendeley is you can double click and then you can read the paper on the software. Okay. Not only that, you can highlight, you can put a note, you can ikut suka lah. Tu yang bagus ni Mendeley ni. I think yang lain pun boleh buat juga, but okay, it's up to you lah nak guna yang mana. Okay, now let's move on to citation. Okay, bila nak citation, you have to go to review. Is it review? No, references. Okay, bila you dah install Microsoft Word plugin tadi, this is your pane yang berkaitan. Okay, so ini yang lagi satu yang maybe Dr. Izzati tekankan tadi, style. Okay, referencing style there. Okay, kalau your ATM suruh buat APA, then you have to download APA. Okay, kat sini saya tak ada APA ke ada? Okay, kalau tak ada kita kena cari, and then kat sini kot. Psychological, ni American Psychological Association, this is APA. So APA 7th edition. Yang ni use this style. Okay, and then it is selected there. So this is APA 7. Okay, I don't know what's the current edition now, but you can download that if you want. Okay, let's see if I can show you how to download that. Okay, APA edition. guna generator. So this is not what I want. But tak apalah, nanti I think that macam ni tadi saya buka dah ada. So maybe it is general lah, boleh cari. Okay, ada kat sini. Kalau tak ada nanti saya cuba cari and then boleh tanya Dr. Izzati lah. Okay. Alright, so that is APA 7. So now insert citation, patut tulislah nama orang tadi. Siapa dah nama dia? Purojab. Okay. Insert citation, you tulis Purojab. There you go. So that is the paper. So ni sekarang dia akan automatic guna APA punya style because you have selected it here. Okay. And then bila dah sudah, at the end referencing, insert bibliography, there you go. Okay. And this is APA. Tengok dia ada Purojab, F, Zericomis, MR. Okay. Once yang saya cakap tadi, bila you buat once, check all the names, make sure dia betul, ada Purojab F, F titik, koma ni semua, dia akan automatically based on the APA yang you select here. Okay, kalau you dah make sure yang awal tadi betul kat sini tadi, and then Mendeley akan automatically follow the style yang you pilih. Okay, let's say I tukar kepada IEE. Nampak? Dia tukar automatic. Tadi Purojab F, sekarang ni F Purojab. Okay. What's most important is the initial data ni. Kena betul dulu. Okay. Itu saja. I think that's it kot pasal Mendeley. Yang advance, I think tak perlulah, nanti maybe saya akan talk to your supervisors to educate your dia punya students to help, okay, make things easier. Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you so much everybody.
Adli, thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Dr. Adli. But just
Yeah.
now I tried, because I don't install any Mendeley yet.
Okay.
When I try to click on the reference on Word, I need to key in everything manually. The title, the author.
Yep.
Because meaning that Mendeley dia akan automatically link dengan Word ke macam mana?
Yes, everything is connected. Kalau you dah install the Mendeley desktop and then you install the two important thing yang saya cakap tadi, web importer dengan Microsoft plugin,
Okay.
semua tu synchronize.
Oh.
Tapi first time you buka Word, bila dah install the plugin dekat Word tu, first time you buka, you kena log in dulu. So dia akan synchronize to the system. It is even online. You can open Mendeley browser even. Your library will be stored safely online. In case kalau you work on library punya komputer ke, nak download the paper, you can buka browser Mendeley and then download the paper from the online database to that computer.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So meaning that everything in our Mendeley, actually we download the paper into our PC ke macam mana?
Yang macam tadi, yang kalau PDF tu dia tulis PDF merah. Lepas tu kalau you download and then dia ada tick dua, reference tick and then PDF pun tick. PDF tu ada dalam your computer. Ada folder dia nak cari. Saya boleh tunjuk macam mana tapi later lah.
Okay.
So kalau you nak ambil PDF tu keluar, nak copy, nak bagi ke orang lain ke, you can, but you have to search for it. Tapi kalau you just nak baca, macam tadi je, buka Mendeley desktop, double click on that paper, dia akan extract PDF tu dekat the window.
I see. Okay. So tracing the file tu next lesson pula lah
Yes, it's not that difficult at all actually.
Okay.
Senang je. Tak perlu ada lesson pun. Just paper of instructions je.
I see. Okay guys, ada soalan tak?
Tak ada. Tak ada, doktor.
Semua tak larat dah tu.
Tak larat dah ni. Saya bercakap dekat 2 jam.
Okay guys, last one, ambil gambar. Buka kamera, ambil gambar. Cepat. Semua orang buka. Nak habis cepat, buka semua cepat.
Sial, ada yang baru nak mandi lagi saya.
Dah 12 nak ke pukul 1 baru nak mandi, over. Tadi while the talk pun dia can shower.
Betul juga kan, sambil pakai
loudspeaker.
waterproof earphone.
Cepat guys, ni ada dah tak ada depan PC dah ni.
Yalah.
Ada kat lab lagi yang tu.
Okay, so I hope what I have shared was beneficial to you lah. Okay. I wish there's more time so I can talk longer, but of course, time is not on our side. Okay, and if you want to talk more about this, come and talk to me. Find me. Okay, about simulations ke, about Mendeley ke, please do so. So, saya ambil lah ya, Dr. Izzati.
kalau Adli ambil, nanti your picture tak ada. So let me print screen
Oh,
lah
okay.
because okay. Okay, screenshot save. Okay, smile everyone. Smile. Sekejap ya. Ha. Okay, finally. Dah habis kan? 1, 2, 3. Alright. Tapi
Okay.
sikit sangat yang buka ni. The rest of it, I don't know where you are. Anyway, thank you so much Dr. Adli. Thank you so
Thank
much
you semua.
everyone for your participation. Later dalam group saya akan bagi borang kehadiran dan tolong isi, okay? Right, Assalamualaikum, selamat puasa dan selamat berbuka. Thank you ya Dr. Adli.
Thank you semua.
Thank you, doktor.
Thank you,
Thank you and all,
Thank you, Doktor.
all the best.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you, doktor. Thank you, doktor.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you,
Thank
Doktor.
you, Doktor.
Thank you, doktor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you. Bye.